ABC Sport. You're listening to the 2025 AFL Premiership season.
AFL. Don't get better than this.
On your radio,
Sport Digital.
and on the ABC Listen app.
The Gold Coast Suns look to charge towards their maiden finals appearance and avoid any late season slip-ups as they travel to Melbourne to take on the battling Blues, despite confirming Michael Voss will be their coach for Carlton in 2026. Hello, welcome to Saturday Night Footy under the roof of Docklands. It's Carlton taking on the Gold Coast Suns in round 22 of the AFL. Matt Clinch with you for ABC Sport. The Suns have won 5 of their last 6 matches to climb up to 7th spot on the AFL ladder following victory over the Tigers last week. Well, the Blues were admirable against the Fremantle Dockers last week, but have lost 6 of their last 7 and last tasted success back in round 19 against the Demons. Jared Witt celebrates his 200th game, the Gold Coast Suns ruckman, and the scene is set. Can the Blues provide an upset tonight? We shall find out. There is no late changes with Malcolm Roses and Corey Durden, the subs for their respective sides. Lauren Borden's with me once more to call the action. Welcome to you, Loz.
Thanks, Clinchy. I'm excited for this game. I got to watch Gold Coast in person last week and was just really impressed by them. I think the times that we've both called them in Melbourne, one was when they lost to Richmond earlier on the season, and Geelong, which was a real test, and they didn't stand up to it. I just wasn't convinced on them, but I know it was Richmond last week, but watching them and the way particularly that midfield worked, you see now why they really are deserving of that top 4 spot if they can claim it with a win tonight against the Blues.
And with some of the results across the weekend, it does start to open up for them. They do have those 2 matches to play in round 24, so Port Adelaide and then the Bombers on a Wednesday night. We have our record breakers in the back row tonight. The man who has played the most AFL, VFL games, Brent Boomer Harvey, is with you. Welcome to you, Boomer.
Yes, thanks for having me. Looking forward as well, like Loz, to watch Gold Coast live for the first time this year for me. They got some stars in their team, haven't they? You know, you look at Anderson and Rao and Witt, who I think is a fantastic player. Noble now off half-back, who's found his feet. So a little bit disappointing this season, the Blues. But like you said, Clinchy, they have announced the coach. He's going to go on next year. So does that put a pep in their step for tonight? Who knows? But looking forward more so to watch the Gold Coast Suns tonight and see if they are a real chance to beat any of the really good teams come September.
And Damien Hardwick tonight coaches his 350th game. Of course, he is a 3-time premiership coach with the Tigers, but no one has coached more AFL, VFL footy than Michael Moldhouse. Welcome to you, Mick. Great to have you along for a Saturday night.
Thanks, Matt. And Lauren and Boomer. I love Boomer. I've coached Boomer way back with the Australian side and watched him all the way through. And as I said to him on entrance tonight, he left 50 games out there. He was good enough to play another 2 seasons. But anyway, we've had 1 turn up. And, well, people will say 2 with Hawthorn. I wouldn't have thought so. But certainly today's job up in Brisbane. Brisbane haven't played well up in Brisbane. So maybe we should have. And you did pick them, Boomer. But
huge ramifications for Brisbane on that game, Mick.
Massive. Instead of being on top of the ladder, they're now potentially 5th. But if there's a potential game that could slide away from Gold Coast, this could well be the one. And I only say that on the back of reinforcement of Michael Voss. I know their midfield is a very good midfield, but still it's an inexperienced team that is in the finals, perhaps for the first time, looking at and maybe counting the games down as opposed to making the games count. And the Blues, I'm not going to say they've got nothing to lose because they've got pride to lose. They've got positions. I know Michael Voss will be looking at them closely. Elected to go with a young ruckman, and that's a good move, I reckon, on a day like this against Wits, who he'll get around the ground. And this will put the pressure straight back onto Paddy Cripps because he's a Brownlow medalist and he's up against 3 of the best.
Michael Voss was asked during the week about the sell in which he might have had to give to keep the job at Carlton. He said the biggest thing for us is to move forward, and we have 3 games to finish strongly and to work out what those pieces look like. We'll get our first taste of that tonight under the roof. The final member of our team sitting in the front row tonight is Lex Pesher. Welcome to you, Lex.
Good evening. As Adam Rabanaskas would say, tonight is the perfect night to have the roof of Docklands Stadium off. It is perfect conditions outside. Inside, the crowd is very slowly starting to build inside here. Now, the Suns have won the toss and they've elected to go to the Coventry end. It's round 20-something, and I finally understood which way is which. So the Suns win the toss for tonight.
Thank you, Lex. Looking forward to your contributions throughout the night as the Suns look to charge towards September, and how far can they climb up the AFL ladder as the Blues look to try and spoil the party. It's round 22 of the AFL. Here's Lauren Borden to get us underway on ABC Sport.
Witts in his 200th game up in the ruck against De Koning. De Koning rises high and just gets a little tap out away. Cripps tries to gather it. He's tackled by three Suns, and in the end it's Humphrey who funnels out the footy towards Anderson. Hand passes it across to Rowell. He's spun around. Saad dispossesses him of the footy, and it's an early win for the Blues here as Saad wins the footy. And flares it out wide towards Haynes, running along the outer wing of Docklands. Puts it inside 50 for the Blues. It'll be collected and hand passed away by O'Keefe, who can just move it away as the kick comes right down to the goal square, and it's Noble backing back. And sitting back on the last line of defence for the Suns in the goal square to take an early intercept mark for the Suns.
He's had a great season, John Noble, as he looks for a clearing path out of defence and chips the ball into the path of Powell. Up to Matt Rowell, who marks it right half back. Opening minute of this match under the roof of Docklands. No late changes. Malcolm Roses and Corey Durden, the subs for their respective sides. As Matt Rowell sends it up towards half forward. Witts is in the pack. Farah from behind. Lil Young in front is able to hang on the mark for the Blues. And left half back for Carlton. Started so promisingly last week against the Fremantle Dockers. Kicked the opening 4 goals of the match. Out wide to Cowan. Now up towards Patrick Cripps. Can't take the mark as the spoil is made by Oscar Adams. In his 6th game of AFL footy, he makes the spoil. And the Carlton captain led the way, Patrick Cripps, last week with 36 disposals alongside George Hewitt. They were the two who tried to light the candle for the Blues.
Just a really quick matchup. Cooper Lord looks like he's going to Noah Anderson. I'll keep an eye out on that and let you know how it's going.
He did spend some time on Sarong last week as well, so it looks like he's got that job again. Noble just clears the kick away, goes out of bounds on the full. And it'll be a Blake Acres free.
I'm looking with interest at King and Wiedering. I think that'll be a great duel tonight.
Blake Acres just bombs it right to the top of the 50. Collins better position against Mackay.
Guy's got to put a better body on that. Just come get pushed under the ball far too easy. Collins does that so regularly. You've got to fight back against that.
The reigning best and fairest at the Suns goes long down the line. Cowan had front position and brought it down for the Blues. Couldn't do anything with the footy though. It's pushed out by Young, who can send it slightly forward in the direction of the Blues, but it's Anderson who collects for the Suns. Kicks down the line towards Long, who has the footy. Hand pass to Farah, skews the kick off his boot. It might work inside the forward pocket for King. No, it's too far out of bounds on the full.
What a waste, Boom.
It was. He just had to put that at the top of the square. They had 2 Gold Coast players goal side of their Carlton defenders, and it was a sloppy kick, Mick.
Oh, terrible. That's just a wasted goal.
Ainsworth and King, Mick, with the 2 who are charging back towards the goals as Wiedering sends it up towards half back, and Harry Mackay takes the mark in front of Tom De Koning. Releases the hand pass to Hollands, kicks up the wing. Akers with one arm. In fact, it was Hudson O'Keefe who tried to reel it in. Can't do so. Spills out the way of John Noble. Hand pass away to Witts. Fires it to Weller. Inboard hand pass. Chopped off by Cowan, who's tackled by Rowell and Miller.
Good signs by the Blues. They're right on there. As soon as that ball leaves a Gold Coast arm, they're right onto the receiver. Right onto the receiver.
Here it is again. It was a beautiful tackle from Hewitt just to bring down Rowell in the end, who got a nice tap out from Witts but was brought straight to the turf for another ball up at centre wing. It's flicked up and De Koning tries to get a boot to ball, can only get it as far as Miller, who grabs it, hand passes it across to Noble. It might work in the end as the hand pass comes across back to Rowell, running through the centre of Docklands. Hand pass to Davies, who'll be able to kick it right to centre half forward. The mark's taken by Ainsworth. He's got the footy. Still a couple of kicks from goal for the Suns. Just holding fire on his kick before he decides on the optional poke it inside 50. King's on the lead and King marks.
Yeah, now I'm looking at De Koning and he's on the 50-metre line. There's a Gold Coast kicker who's going from 50 metres, Boom, and you've got the ruckman sitting on the opposite side of the ground instead of filling in the space, or at least letting his man fill the space.
They did it quite well, Gold Coast, because their forwards all led and just left this little bubble of a little pocket, a little bubble, and King was lucky enough to slot in there. A beautiful kick too.
So Ben King, fresh off 4 goals last week, for the first one tonight. He sails it through for a goal. And it's the Suns that strike first. 1 straight 6. They're leading. Carlton yet to score. Just 4 minutes have been played in this opening term. It's Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Suns ahead by a goal.
Mick, I'm just watching. I mentioned earlier Cooper Lord going to Noah Anderson. Every time Carlton win the ball, Lord wants to get off him, but Noah Anderson paying no respect. So he's sort of looking back. He doesn't know what to do, and he keeps coming back to Noah Anderson.
Yeah, so he's not getting any...
Yeah, so what they need to do is find him the ball and make Noah Anderson actually play some defensive football as well. Yeah. At the minute, Anderson's just going to play this whole game on his terms. He'll keep going to some other Carlton player, and Lord won't he'll be ineffective tonight in terms of offence.
Yeah. And he'll be wondering who Cooper Lord is.
Yeah, he will be.
Our two record breakers, most games played Brent Harvey, most games coached Mick Malthouse, alongside Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden. Lex Pesce down the boundary. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. De Koning wins down the tap to Cripps, got it back to De Koning. Hound pass away to Hewitt, links up with the run of Haynes. He looks up towards half forward. It's on the bounce and down low as it's gathered by Moyer. Mac Andrew lays the tackle, spills out towards Motlop and Noble. Motlop surely was taken high.
Yep, umpire
Gone the other way.
In fact, it's gone the other way. It's a fend off. Motlop that was high, and he is worse for wear with his arm, and John Noble is taking the free kick. Noble sends the Suns up the wing. Witt's got nudged underneath it. Spills to the back. Cowan after it for the Blues. Left it behind. Butterick in game 50. Fires a hand pass out to Toot Miller. Under a weight of pressure, he loses it. And then Hollands is locked up by Davies, and the umpire will ball it up between wing and half forward for the Gold Coast Suns.
Dislocated a finger, I reckon, Motlop.
He's just come to the bench. Lex will keep an eye on that as the ball is tossed up, and it is just Witts barrelling it down to Rao, but the umpire's found a holding free kick, and it is one that'll go back to Witts, so no advantage paid. It'll go back to Anderson, in fact. Lex Pesce on the boundary.
It does look like a finger issue for Jesse Motlop. He just went into the race and has just come back out. He's with physios at the moment. We'll keep an eye on it.
Thanks, Lex. So no, it is Jared Witts will have the free kick in the end. A little bit of uncertainty there, but in that ruck contest, he'll have it. Just forward of centre wing for the Suns.
Look at the channel there, Boomer.
Yeah, that's what they did last time, and here comes King again.
What are they doing, Carlton?
So a big bomb from Witts to put it in the pocket in the end. Luckily, Wiedering had good position in the pack and intercepts the footy for the Blues.
So it was just a bomb in there. It really wasn't directed, so...
Chip kick out to Sard, who just moves it forward 15 metres towards Cowan. Marks left half back. Blues have won the last 3 contests between these two sides coming into tonight. And the long kick will come right down to centre wing. Andrew just flying over the pack, punches it away. It'll work for Anderson, who can take the footy, but then he's taken in a tackle, dispossessed, and Hewitt can collect for the Blues.
Quick 1-2 with Wilson, and now the run of Cowan through the middle of the ground. Got away from Farah. Hand passes over the head of Hollands. Trying to swoop in is Will White. Gathers for the Blues. Hand pass to Cripps through traffic. Back to Hollands. He looks to poke it towards Harry Mackay. What a one with Mac Andrew. He works him underneath. And Harry takes the mark in the left forward pocket for Carlton.
Not sure what Mac Andrew was doing then. He was just sort of... He knew Harry was behind him, but he didn't want to go back.
Well, I'll go one second earlier. What was Paddy Cripps doing when he was running towards goal and he cut back on his left side?
Stop and come back. He did too. It was a strange decision by the
Strange
skipper as well.
decision. All you need to do is, on his right side, he's good for 50 on the run. Anyway.
Had a career high 10 tackles, Harry Mackay, last week, looking for Carlton's first of the night.
Yeah.
And he steers it through from the left forward pocket to lock things up at a goal apiece through the opening 8 minutes under the roof. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Harry Mackay and Ben King, the goal kickers here. You want to join us on the SMS 0437 774 774. The thoughts of Mick Malthouse and Brent Harvey.
Mick, Carlton moved the ball pretty well out of their back line, but it looks like they're a contested team. The ball goes down there. They're happy to go to a big contest and try to get numbers there. The good teams today, I think Hawthorn, Adelaide are the greatest kicking teams.
Yep.
Gold Coast.
Geelong, not bad.
Yeah, Geelong. Gold Coast, I've seen tonight already, forward handball. GWS, forward handball. They don't like going to contest. They like shifting the ball off the line at the minute. Carlton, I know they've scored out of that, and that's their method, and that's okay, but I don't think it stacks up against the very best teams.
No, well, it's been almost proven you're spot on, Boomer.
Scores locked early stages of this match under the roof at Docklands. Rao chasing after it. It's De Koning that can pick it up for the Blues. Hand pass to Cripps. Hand pass to Haynes. He flicks it across to Lord. He'll go inboard towards Cripps by hands. Puts the hand pass out in front of Flynn Young. He just goes with a nice little tap away, and it'll be a kick coming inside 50 from White. Gets it to the hot spot. And it's picked up and taken away by the Blues. Durden had a go at it. Fogarty rather had a go at it. And then it's all wrapped up and thrown back to the umpire as Will White hands it back 30 metres outside from the Blues goal, a ball up.
Harry Mackay doing the ruck work against Witts, who wins down the tap. Lord tries to knock it out. Moyer through traffic, brought down by Noble. And the umpire will ball it up. A goal apiece through the opening 9.5 minutes here. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Witts tangles with Mackay once more. Noah Anderson trying to bust away. Tackled and brought down. Ball spills out. Chance for Powell trying to knock it clear. Brought down by Fogarty, and the umpire will do it once more.
Good setup by Carlton. They've got a spare play behind the ball, and he's behind the centre, so he can really judge where that ball's coming from.
40 out from the Blues goal. Mackay trying to take possession. He knocks it down to Patrick Cripps, who fires on goal. and it bounces into the left goalpost. And a minor score. Almost well executed by the key forward and the leading midfielder, but behind enough to give the Blues the lead though.
So a long kick outside from defensive 50 will work for King, who was at the back of the pack and just sends a barrel to the top of the 50. It's Wiedering at the front position and he can win the footy. Got to juggle it, falls to the ground, still desperately trying to get it out. He's just able to hand pass it away towards Lewis Young, who picks it up. A string of hand passes. Ollie Hollands with the footy. Centre wing just kicks it. It goes through the hands of Adams of the Suns. Then through Moya, back to Adams. He can just hand pass it out to Eulens. Looks behind him. Hand pass towards Jeffries, who also looks defensively, and hand passes back to Fiorini. He'll shove it on his boot this time, kick down the wing, and it's a good mark taken by Butterick.
Yeah, very good mark.
He has it, and he has Long sitting by himself at centre half forward for the Suns. Hand pass across to Miller. He darts the kick inside 50, and Ethan Reid's on the lead this time and clunks the mark.
That's a great kick inside 50. Mick, last week I did the game and not one midfielder or forward wanted to drop their eyes and hit the leading target. It's on every single time because all the defenders, they want to drop off.
They fall back.
They want to drop off and support their teammates behind the ball. So that kick there, I think it was Took Miller, was unbelievable. Small dart, 15, 17 metres. Beautiful.
So Ethan Reid, the local from the Gold Coast, holding his spot in the forward line. Jed Waltz up in the VFL as he lines up from directly in front. This one's off to the left. And a minor score for the Suns. It draws scores level, 1-1-7 apiece. 11 and a half minutes played in the opening term. Round 22, Gold Coast and the Blues under the roof of Docklands.
202 centimetres, Ethan Reid, 20 years of age. A Rising Star nominee for the Gold Coast Suns. As the Blues look to bring it back into play. Hollands up towards Mackay, nudge underneath it by Collins, spills to the back. It's kicked forward by Motlop along the turf. Fogarty tries to keep it alive, taps it away from Powell. And the two collide and the ball ricochets out of play. With encouragement from the fellow small forwards of the Blues. Jesse Motlop is back on the field. Zach Williams, Blake Akers coming across as well. Trying to see that ball out of play at half forward. Scores locked at 1-1-7 apiece. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Reads into the ruck here against De Koning. De Koning wins down the tap for the Blues. Hewitt can't take it. Davies can. Hand pass forward, almost chopped off by Will White. And then volleyed forward by Zach Williams. That might work. And Evans was taken high and will get the free kick just inside 50. Trying to Yulin over the shoulder.
I'm not sure he's good for 50 plus. He's got to go, 55 here, Burnley, you reckon?
Yeah, probably can
53 anyway.
Just outside 50, but it's got to travel the line with the tools on the line. So,
and I just don't see any movement by Carlton trying to reduce that, trying to, pinch maybe a 40-metre kick. There's just no movement whatsoever by the Blues.
A multiple goal kick out for the Blues last week against the Fremantle Dockers. He veers out to the right, looking for every metre as he flushes it from 50. And Carlton wrestle back the lead with that goal.
Good goal.
Francis Evans striking truly from 50. And the Blues lead by 6 points, 2-1-13. To the Suns 1-1-7. Of course, he was involved in that big collision with Stephen May. So just great to see him back playing footy. Mick Moldhouse and Brent Harvey with you on ABC Sport.
Well, he got the distance, Mick. That went over the fence.
Yep.
That went into the Blues big flags that they're waving at the minute. That was
maybe
probably 55 metres. That.
Yeah, and maybe the Carlton players didn't lead because they thought he was good for it.
Yeah,
I'm still concerned though that they don't try to break up that back line. Gold Coast set up perfectly. And the only way you can disrupt that is little, cameo leads, if you like, 10 yards. Just break it up. Don't let them get settled. But anyway, it's a good goal.
Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. The Blues ahead by 6 points as the umpire thumps the ball into the turf. Tap comes away, Reid in the ruck for the Suns. It comes down, Lord tries to gather it. It's pushed out of his hand by Miller, who gets it towards Reid. Hand pass to Anderson. He hand passes over the top of his head to a voice. Can't get it towards Ainsworth. Hollands was in the mix, and in the end he does the tackling on Toot Miller. And it'll be a ball up still in the centre square of Docklands. So the Blues with the last 2 goals of the game after the Suns kick the opener. Reid gets a tap out. It goes straight to the opposition in Hewitt, who darts the kick forward. Andrew was sitting at the back there against Evans, who can hold on to the mark and intercept the footy for the Suns.
Yeah, Carlton have to be a little bit careful of that. They're kicking the ball in the air to Evans, and he's on Mac Andrew. We know he's going to win that battle in the air. You're better off kicking a scrubber along the ground and just letting the smalls run onto it.
Toot Miller through the middle of the ground for the Suns to Ainsworth, who honours the lead of Jai Farrow. Marks at the edge of the centre square for the Gold Coast Suns, trailing by 6 points as he looks inside a congested forward 50. Sends it long to the goal square where Ben King is. Reid as well, in from the side. Cowan slapped it back towards the goal square. Wilson's hand pass, and eventually it's rushed through. People all keen to see it through for a minor score. Under a fair bit of pressure. Carlton leading by 5 points. 15 minutes gone, opening term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. The winners so far today. Sydney by 2 points over the Brisbane Lions, and St Kilda by 4 over the Tigers.
Wilson brings it in with a chip pass towards Cowan in the pocket. He kicks close to the boundary line, down the line. It's tapped away over the boundary for a throw-in.
That's not a bad result. You're outside 50, takes 2 kicks now. If you can't lay the ball off, put it in a position where the opposition have to handle it at least twice to get it inside front 50.
Jared Witt's in his 200th games. George Hewitt in his 200th as well. 120 of those for the Swans. Now at the Blues is from the throw-in. It's Williams who has the footy and just kicks it right to the top of the 50. Mackay was there, can get it. Hand pass it off to Evans. He'll have a shot at goal. And this one's on the run, but it's the same result. 2 in a row for Evans. And the Suns push ahead by 11 points. So a couple of goals there for fans to get excited for in the blue and white tonight. 16 minutes are played in the opening term. Carlton 3-1-19 have the lead against the Suns 1-2-8. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Your experts Brent Harvey and Michael Moldhouse.
Take a bow.
That was
Mackay.
That was fantastic. It was a contest.
Held him off.
That's what you need. It comes to the ground. He looks like a serious player, Evans. We just seen him then. Dob one from 55 out. Then he just read the cues off the tall's hands.
But it was good work by Mackay, though.
It was very good. As a smaller type of coming player, you love playing on taller players. Lead them to the football, Mick. Make them compete.
Yep.
You stay on the ground. You got an extra number on the ground. Evans just did that spectacularly well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blues out by 11 points. Biggest lead of the match so far. In the middle of the ground, Moyer gets the hand pass away to Cripps. He's able to link up with Lord. Hand pass looking for Zach Williams, almost chopped off. Lord slaps it to half forward. Got it back from Fogarty, although that's an O'Keefe with a little fumble, and now Cowan slides in. The ball stuck underneath a few players as they try and wrestle it off him. Nick Coleman in from the side, and the umpire will ball it up just short of centre half forward for the Blues. Witts tangles with O'Keefe. It spills down the way of Fiorini, who gets it in front of Rowell. Hand pass out in front of the run of Jeffrey. Can't take possession. Left it for Ainsworth. Hand pass into the middle of the ground. Weller got it forward to Fiorini, who fires a hand pass out to Jeffrey. Getting a hand on it was Wilson, but Butterick gathers between wing and half forward for the Suns. Kicks inside 50. Wiedering over the back, spoils Reid. Lewis Young is tackled under immense pressure. Got it back to Wiedering. His kick is smothered by Farah. And it goes out of play, 50 metres out from the Gold Coast Suns goal. Carlton 3-1-19 to the Suns 1-2-8. The Blues have had their best results in first quarters. They've won 13 first quarters so far in 2025, so once more, off to a positive start.
Gold Coast are getting forward of the ball. There's a lot of forward handball for Gold Coast. Carlton have just got to knock that on its head.
The ball's tossed in. Butterick collects, hand passes it away. Weller has a go at it. In the end, it's won back by the Blues. Moyer takes it, hand passes it across to Lord. Little chip kick. Goes laterally, and Mackay will mark and just slow things down a little.
Yeah, there was nothing in front of him.
So he's still the defensive side of centre wing and chips it back to Cowan, who's about 55 metres out from defensive goal. You can find Wilson at centre half back. And put the kick forward towards Lord, and Lord's got a runner in Cowan who's come down, collects the hand pass and kicks inside 50 to a pack. It'll ricochet back out. Moyer has the ball, can hand pass it across to his captain in Cripps. Hand passes it away. It's picked off by Collins, though. It'll be a Suns turnover. Hand pass to Fiorini, hand pass to Weller, and he'll kick long down the wing.
Out in front of Butterick, who's trying to run onto it. Cowan offers chase. He sidesteps around his intended tackle. Kicks up towards Ben King. Arms outstretched in front of Wiedering and takes the mark. Still 2 kicks out from goal. Long kick looking for Reid. He presents, can't take the mark. Humphreys front and centre. Saad wraps him up. Arms around his chest, ensuring he can't break away. And a ball up 25 metres out from the Gold Coast Suns goal.
Oh, they were very lucky to get away with that. They were one man short. They've had the extra player virtually all quarter, and they've dropped it off for some no reason that I can see.
Carlton by 11 points. Spills out of the hands of Wilson. Lord knocks it on for the Blues. Up to the defensive 50. Clever little toe poke from Fogarty. Got it to Mackay. Hand pass to Cripps through traffic. Collins lays the tackle. Standing up in the tackle. His hand pass is just wide of Mackay. Ainsworth gets a hand pass away to Rowell. Suns take back possession. Out to Holman. Feeds the hand pass to Noble. Tries to send it wide out to Humphreys on the bounce. Kept it in. Sarr tries to corral him. He cuts back on his left. Long kick looking for Reid. The Blues defenders are out of position.
Well, I know who was out of position. surely 15 boundary umpires.
Yeah.
How many more do they want? That was in the second tier.
It was, but Saad's got to play that out, Mick.
Yes, he does.
He's got to play it out. He thought it was out as well, so he stops. Humphrey keeps the ball apparently in.
Adam Saad thought it was out. Lewis Young thought it was out. There's a few Blues who banked on the ball going out. And Ethan Reid leaning over it. A chance for his first of the night. He kicks across his body from the right forward pocket. And just squeezes it in from behind.
Never looked comfortable for me, that kick from Reid. On the opposite side to what he's used to, but just like a little hop step.
Convince himself of what he's practiced to believe that he could execute it. The Blues by 10 points. 20 minutes gone, opening terms. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
15 goals from 16 matches, Ethan Reid, so far this season. Just 20 matches played overall across his career. Saad bringing it in, goes for a couple of bounces and then kicks right down the wing. Witts had front position, punches it away. Noble might be trying to collect. Motlop was there first, but happy to just take it over the boundary line for a throw-in right in front of the Gold Coast Suns bench.
Noah Anderson's had the 4 touches, so Cooper Lord doing a fairly good job on him. He's on the bench at the minute, trying to get back on the ground surely very soon because they need him back out there.
Thrown in right on centre wing. Witts had front position against O'Keefe. It's tapped down towards Rowell. Hand pass towards Miller. He flicks it back to Noble. Puts the ball on his boot very quickly because Weller's on the outer side of the ground to mark at centre wing. He's got plenty of space ahead of him to load up on the kick and put it deep inside. Forward 50 for the Suns. Reid, 2 hands, but fell over at the back of the pack. Couldn't collect it. And then Haynes comes in for the Blues. Takes it. Takes the footy and takes the tackle. And it'll be a ball up right in front of the Suns' goal. It's Carlton leading by 10 points. 21 minutes have been played in the opening term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Inside 50s, 9-7 the way of the Suns as Witts wins down the tap. Hewitt sharks it, spills out the way of Witts. That's an impossible goal. He somehow carried it down to his boot and volleyed it through the major opening. And Jared Witts in game 200 with a signature move from the top of the goal square. And the Suns close the gap back to Carlton by 4 points. 3-1-19 to the Suns, 2-3-15. Nick and Boomer, as you see this on the monitor above us, talk us through how he was able to do this.
Yeah, these are the easy goals that teams just cannot bleed. And this is a goal out of the ruck. He's a strong boy. Witts, TDK need to be a little bit stronger. But the ball was actually
back to him.
It went back to him off a couple of hands, Mick, and it's fallen straight back in his lap. It's a good finish from a big guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that on his left?
It's on his left.
Well, he's a left.
He's a left, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a lefty.
Is
he? Yeah.
That was a little bit lucky. Let's be fair there. It was a little bit lucky.
That was very lucky, really.
But it was a good finish in the end as well.
But Jared Witts' story is fantastic. We'll go through it at some stage when we have a bit of a breather. But really, to come down, he was at Collingwood when I was there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
He also was a talented rugby union player and cricketer in New South Wales. So it's a clearance now from the Suns as Rao gets it and puts it inside 50 to a pack. Farah brings it down to ground. It's picked up by Long. He curls it on his boot towards goal. He's got it. Another goal in quick succession, and it's Ben Long's name. It'll be on the scoreboard. 3-3-21. The Suns have hit back with the lead. 3-1-19 Carlton. 2 points the difference here. And it's the Suns back in front. 23 minutes have passed in the first term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Yeah, it's a great goal. I am simply amazed how St Kilda did not persist with Ben Long. He is one of those freak forwards that will fight tooth and nail defensively and then attacking comes second. And generally you have them all, they want to attack and then they think about defence. But he does all the tough, hard stuff and he gets rewarded.
Well, he played in the back pocket for the Saints at the start there.
Yes, he did.
So he knows how to defend and he's brought that trait into a forward role.
Yes, he
defends super well, as you mentioned, Mick.
I just can't believe the Saints.
But now he kicks goals.
He does.
He's a good player, isn't he?
Too right. Oh, he's so important to him for finals.
Brent Harvey and Mick Malthouse with you on ABC Sport. De Koning wins down the tap against Witts, but it's Miller who emerges with a kick up towards half forward. Butterick in front takes the mark. Leading up in front of Wilson. Turns it, comes inboard to Toot Miller. At the edge of the centre square, he just delicately pokes his kick over the top, and Humphreys marks, and
he'll back himself.
It's within range for him. Right on 50, directly in front.
So Carlton need to be onto this because Toot Miller, every single time he gets the ball, he drops his eyes. And every Carlton player is still playing back shoulder when he gets the football. Flip in front of your opponent. He's going short 9 out of 10 times. And when he's got no pressure on him, he's going short every time.
Yeah.
21 goals, 15 so far this season for Bailey Humphreys, who's played in every game. He kicks it into Saad on the mark. It ricochets out to Zach Williams. Gave it back to Sard, whose hand was worse for wear. He threw it. And Cripps was trying to emerge and about to kick it inside 50 and has to give it back to Toot Miller.
Well, here we go. He's got it again, Mick. He's 60 out?
And
he drops his eyes.
He'll find someone. There it is.
There it is, right there.
Absolutely.
Take two. Bailey Humphries.
So spot on. You did exactly what Toot Miller was meant to do. It was a little short 15-metre pass to Humphrey.
But he's done it 4 times, so I'm not...
Yep.
How many kicks has he had there? Miller.
What have we got there? We've got 8 disposals, 5 kicks.
5 kicks. He's dropped his eyes 5 times. They're still not onto it.
So Bailey Humphrey has a set shot now from about 2 metres to the right of where he had one just a few moments ago. Arcs around to get distance on the kick. 55 metres out from goal. Swings it across to the left. It's another set shot for the Suns, though. And their margin extends to 3 points. 3-4 playing Carlton, 3-1. Ticked over 25 minutes in the opening term.
What a minute for Bailey Humphrey. Kicks into the man on the mark and then gets another chance. Can't redeem himself. Carroll brings the Blues back into play to Hollands in the back pocket. Sends them up to half-back. Mac Andrew flying over the top of Paddy Cripps takes the mark. And right half forward.
I think 2 contrasting sides too. This is...
Athleticism at its best. He goes for Humphries once more. Holland makes the spoil. Akers has the footy pin. Eventually gets a hand pass clear. The kick from Zach Weir. In fact, it was Cowan who was smothered by Rao. Ball stays alive. And Akers is kicked towards the boundary line. Rolls out of play. And the umpire says throw it in. Under immense pressure there. The Blues are hemmed inside their defensive 50. 13-7 all of a sudden the inside 50s. The way of the Suns, who lead by 3 points. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
And we have got an old-fashioned tag. Noah Anderson come off the ground. Lord come off. Anderson on. Lord on. Straight to him.
So he's got the job tonight. The ball tossed in. Noble, another inside 50 for the Suns. Just popped it into the pocket. Bounced at right angles over the boundary line for a throw-in. Lex Pesces down on the boundary for us.
Boomer, funnily enough, they were on the phone at the same time when they were down here. And then when Noah Anderson got up, so did Cooper. As a game of charades.
Just the way I used to like it too.
Ball will be tossed it inside. The Suns attacking 50. It's tapped away. Akers picks it up, puts a hand pass out wide, looking for Hewitt, who takes it and then almost goes for a rugby try over the boundary line. It will be a throw-in. This time about 40 metres around from the right behind post for the Suns. Kicking towards the Coventry end in this opening term. They're leading by 3 points.
Last 2 goals of the match going the way of the Gold Coast Suns. Cripps is alongside Rao from this throw-in. De Koning works his way to the front against Witts. Taps it down to Hewitt. Centering ball in the direction of Williams. Tapped away from him by Farah. Toot Miller streaming through. Gathers for the Suns. Hand pass to the run of Hewlands, who looks out to half forward. Ethan Reid leads up and takes the mark. Swings onto his right. Long kick to the goal square. Sard and Humphries. De Koning got back. Didn't take the mark. In the end, it's a chance for Carroll to clear. Sends it up towards half-back. Back with a flight was Holman. Coming in the other direction was Evans. Noble left it behind and Evans pinches it for the Blues. Kicks end over end up the wing. A chance, though, for Oscar Adams, who gathers for the Suns and sends it up towards Holman. Bumps off it in the end. And Francis Evans using his body there well, and it goes out of play at right half forward. Carlton fans are engaged. Suns leading by 3 points. 28 minutes gone, opening term.
Yeah, inside 50s, interesting. What's that, 15-7? It's living in Gold Coast's forward of centre. And full credit to Carlton, they're holding up.
Koning in front, just pushes it down straight to Rowell. He's tackled by Hewitt. A free kick in the ruck contest or in the tackle.
Yeah, just holding his arm. Holding his arm and jumper just before the ball got to him.
So free kick to Rowell, just forward of centre wing. Dabs the kick across to Noble, right half forward. He puts it towards Reid, and Reid, well, it's King rather. King goes up and holds onto the mark. So a quick entry and a quick mark as well for King, and he'll have a set shot for his second.
Where was Wiedering then? He's gone back onto someone else, is
With Reid.
Reid.
he? Sure, he's not playing on Reid.
It's like the best defenders playing on the best forwards, don't you, Mick? Surely.
Well, particularly if they mean so much. King's a leading goal kicker, a big leading goal kicker.
Carroll's standing the mark for the Blues as King comes in. 45-degree angle, 25 metres in front. Does not miss. That's King's second. And the Gold Coast Suns lead pushes out to 9 points late in this first term. The visitors 4-4-28, the Blues 3-1-19. Nearly 30 minutes have been played in the first term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Well, they led by 9 points, I think, just not in a blink of an eye. And now they're trailed by 9 points, the Blues, and it's basically been their own fault. They've dropped the intensity, they've dropped the contested football, they've allowed the Gold Coast to have run, space. The King's taken 2 marks, 2 goals. Long's did a play. Witts has got a stoppage goal. It's a real combination. So there's nothing one set, but they're leaking too much space and too much ball getting ability, I reckon, Boomer.
Well, Gold Coast are dropping their eyes. Again, that was a 3-quarter kick.
Yeah, it was.
Could just run onto with a little bit of space there for him, Mick.
Yep.
Back in the middle of the ground, Toot Miller gets the clearance despite having an arm pinned and squeezes the kick up to Connor Butterick, who marks it left half forward. Another inside 50 for the Suns. Ben King, huge rise on the back of Jacob Wiedering. He posterised him, as all good key forwards would love to do. Yeah. Wiedering was trying to back, and King had the perfect rise to the top of the throne.
He just hung there, didn't he? He just hung in the air for a long time. I thought he jumped way too early. He wasn't getting his hands on that.
Was it over Wiedering?
Over Wiedering.
It was over Wiedering, so he tried to push back into him. Oh, that's a great mark. He only came out of his hands when he hit the deck.
So Ben King, having kicked the last goal of the match, to chance to try and make it 3 goals in the opening quarter. Slightly left of centre, 30 metres out from goal. King comes in and completes the task. The Suns are starting to find top gear. And Ben King all of a sudden is up to 54 goals for the season. Chasing, of course, Jeremy Cameron, who's now on 79. And the Suns have a 15-point advantage. 5-4-34 to Carlton 3-1-19. 31 minutes gone, opening term on ABC Sport.
What you've been saying all night about lowering their eyes and using the channels and this sort of stuff, even that was a 3-quarter kick, set him up. He's kicked 3 goals all from marks.
Yep.
That tells you a lot, particularly if is Wiedering on him down there now.
He is on him now.
The mark was
on Louis Young.
Yeah.
But they've been alongside each other
all night. Yeah, and that is a big get. You kick 3 goals on Wiedering in the first quarter of football. Admittedly, they've been saturating that front 50. They're dominating that. The midfield's got to start to pick up with Carlton.
So the Suns have kicked the last 4 from the middle. It's Carlton, though, with the centre break. Hewitt puts a little kick out wide to the outer side of the ground. Evans will mark. 70 metres from Carlton goal. It's a rare inside 50 for them in the second half of this term. It'll be a mark inside 50 as well.
Free kick. They pushed him out.
Not quite. So you can hear the Blues fans in that one. But it is a Sam Collins free kick.
I'm not sure there was a free kick.
Collins goes out wide, and it's Witts running through in the pack who takes the mark. Left half back for the Suns. Puts the kick in front of Butterick. It's too far in front as the siren sounds to mark quarter time. We've had a flag fall from the third tier right down.
Thrown or was it dropped?
Carlton fans are giving up early. No, maybe not yet. It is the Suns leading, though. 5-4-34 to Carlton 3-1-19 at quarter time. So the Suns kicked the first goal through King, and then it was 3 straight to the Blues, but 4 straight to end the quarter to the Suns, as the ball pretty much lived inside the forward 50 of the Gold Coast Suns. Suns ahead by 15 points. The goal kickers in the match so far, it's 3 to Ben King, 1 to Jared Witts and 1 to Ben Long, and then 2 to Francis Evans for the Blues and 1 to Harry Mackay.
Your thoughts on the SMS? 0437 774 774. Rob from Greensboro says, how do you defend a ball falling off the ruckman's foot and going through the middle? Not the type of contest Tom De Koning wants. He wants to leap over the top. Annie from Canberra says Paddy Cripps is injured, so one we'll keep an eye on throughout the match. You can add your thoughts to our 0437 774 774. Earlier, the Brisbane Lions booted the last 4 goals of the match, but it was the Swans who prevailed by 2 points, 13-14-92 to Brisbane 13-12-90. So all of a sudden the Brisbane Lions' golden opportunity goes begging. Isaac Heaney with 5 goals for the Swans. And the Saints 4-point winners over the Tigers at the MCG, their 3rd win on the trot. We'll keep you across all the events at the Adelaide Oval. That gets underway momentarily as the Port Adelaide side takes on the Fremantle Dockers Saturday night. Footy on ABC Sport.
The summer of cricket has arrived early.
Clubs it straight down the ground for 6. He's on the pull shot. Boy, did he get that.
White ball cricket takes centre stage in the top end as Australia take on South Africa.
Shout for leg before, finger goes on.
It all starts on Sunday on the ABC
Down
Listener.
the pitch, there we go. Bang.
Every ball live. Just click on the cricket button. This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Just holding fire on his kick before he decides on the optional poke it inside 50. King's on the lead and King marks. Ben King, fresh off 4 goals last week for the first one tonight. He sails it through for a goal.
Trying to swoop in is Will White. Gathers for the Blues. Hand pass to Cripps through traffic. Back to Hollands. He looks to poke it towards Harry Mackay. What a one with Mac Andrew. He works him underneath. Looking for Carlton's first of the night. And he steers it through from the left forward pocket to lock things up at a goal apiece through the opening 8 minutes under the roof. Hewitt can't take it. Davies can. Hand pass forward, almost chopped off by Will White. And then volleyed forward by Zach Williams. That might work. And Evans was taken high and will get the free kick just inside 50. He veers out to the right, looking for every metre as he flushes it from 50. And Carlton wrestle back the lead with that goal.
From the throw in, it's Williams who has the footy and just kicks it right to the top of the 50. Mackay was there, can get it, hand pass it off to Evans. He'll have a shot at goal. And this one's on the run, but it's the same result. 2 in a row for Evans. It's a clearance now from the Suns as Rao gets it and puts it inside 50 to a pack. Farah brings it down to ground. It's picked up by Long. He curls it on his boot towards goal. He's got it. Another goal in quick succession, and it's Ben Long's name. It'll be on the scoreboard.
Another inside 50 for the Suns. Ben King. Huge rise on the back of Jacob Wiedering. He posterised him. As all good key forwards would love to do. Slightly left of centre, 30 metres out from goal. King comes in and completes the task. The Suns are starting to find top gear.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio
ABC Sport Digital.
and on the ABC Listen app.
Quarter time at Docklands and the Gold Coast Suns lead Carlton by 15 points, 5-4-34 to the Blues 3-1-19. As you heard there, Ben King with 3 goals, including one of the Mark of the Year contenders. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden calling the action ahead of Mick Moldhouse and Brent Harvey down to Lex Pesher on the boundary.
Was that text message that came through, I think might be correct. Paddy Cripps is down in the rooms at the moment. He went down with the doctor. I think it could be a chest or a shoulder from an earlier tackle, so we'll keep an eye on that when he comes out at the next start of the next quarter.
Thank you, Lex. What's impressed you, Mick and Boomer, the most about the Gold Coast Suns and how they took control midway through that opening term?
Yeah, you're right, and they had to take control because Carlton kicked 3 out of the first 4 goals of the game, and the forward handball was the big thing that I thought got them into their play. So they would win the ball across half-back. It would be in a contested possession. They would get the ball from inside to outside, but the next handball would go forward, and they're getting forward of the play. I don't know whether it's a ploy, but Carlton are pressing at them, and they're getting the ball out the back, and then they had the ability to kick the ball inside 50 with not a lot of pressure, which means they can take a little bit more time and drop their eyes. We spoke so many times about Miller dropping his eyes going inside forward 50, and they're just creating little channels. They're so unselfish to the Gold Coast forwards, and looks really good. Hard to stop because the Carlton defence are still playing back shoulder.
Laurel says, enjoying my armchair weekend with ABC Footy as usual. Good calling team. Also coming through, new ABC listener, Craig. Great to have you along on a Saturday night. Please tell Mick it's great to hear his expertise in the comm box on a Saturday night, and Boomer Harvey should lace up for another season to preserve his game's record. That's from Axe.
17-8 inside 50s too.
Yeah.
Again, Carlton was leading that stat at about the 6 or 7 minute mark of the first quarter. Mick mentioned the ball lived in the Gold Coast forward half of the ground after probably that 8 or 9 minutes, Mick. So really dominated forward play, and Carlton need to do something to stop them.
Suns by 15 points as we're about to get the second quarter underway on ABC Sport. Tom de Koning and Jared Witts in the middle of the ground. As de Koning reaches up and wins down the tap. It's through the fingertips of Lord. Getting back Davies. Hand pass almost chopped off by White, but Davies keeps control. Hand pass for the Suns back to Yulin, and now to Noah Anderson. Feeds it away to Mac Andrew. Long kick up towards the wing, and here is Ben Long on cue. Leads up and takes the mark. Now streaming forward is Toot Miller. He bounces it in front of him. Running back towards goal from 45. It's across the face. And King and Wiedering tangle bodies. And it goes out of play. No, it's a free kick to Jacob Wiedering.
Interesting enough, in that first quarter, Boomer, Carlton did 1,150 metres, Gold Coast 1,400. So, that's significant in the first quarter.
Going forward a lot more.
Yes, they are.
Jacob Wiedering gets some distance on the kick. It's picked up by Williams, who has the footy, hand passes it across to Flynn Young, who kicks it right down to Moya. He's marked, but he's a long way out from goal, and he hears Akers calling his name next to him. Flicks off the hand pass, and Akers will pop it into the pocket for Francis Evans. But the kick was punched away by Powell, and there'll be a throw inside 50 for the Blues.
That's not a bad result. I know the ball's been punched out of bounds, but he had to go onto the goal line.
2v1.
Yep, 2v1, and Gold Coast were going to gobble it up and probably run down the ball down the other side of the ground. So at least you'll get a stoppage in the forward pocket.
Chance for the Blues to kick their first goal since the 16-minute mark of the first term. Lord gets the footy, hand passes it away. It's straight to Davies over the Suns. Gets his hand pass away to Noble. There'll be a free kick for a push in the back. And it's going the way of Alex Davies and the Suns. So Davies trying to hold his position in this side. Has only played a few games for the Suns, but looks to be a key addition inside that centre square.
Game number 3 for the season as Davies has kicked to half back. O'Keefe brought it down. Ainsworth tries to fire a hand pass through the congestion. South Williams' hand pass back and taken high was Carroll. He'll get the free kick against Ben Long. Lex Pesher on the boundary.
Patrick Cripps has just come to the front of the bench. It looks like he was moving his right shoulder around, but it looks like he's back, ready to go back into the action.
Thanks, Lex. Good news for Carlton fans. Carroll looks into the pocket. Harry Mackay the target. Collins couldn't get a hand to it. With a vice-like grip, Harry holds onto it in the right forward pocket.
That's a lovely kick. That's about as good as you're going to get the way Gold Coast set up behind the ball, because otherwise they would have been punched that back. You had to move to the ball. Once Mackay did that, Collins was always caught behind, so, and you need a good hand, so that's a very good touch.
It was a beautiful kick by Carroll too,
wasn't it?
Beautiful. He's got a lovely left foot. Most left footers have a really good style, but that was beautiful.
Both Collins and Bodie Eula knew where it was going. They could do little to stop it as Harry Mackay takes the mark, now trying to finish off the work. He leans back on this kick, and it's across the face to the left. In the pack, O'Keefe can't take the mark. Witts thought he had enough of it. Fires a hand pass away to Eula, now to Andrew. Got it away to Davies, who kept it going with a hand pass to Weller, but that's where it breaks down. The Blues take it back through Sard. High kick inside 50. It clears Mackay and O'Keefe and gets to the very back of the pack. Fiorini's working hard for the Suns. Gets the hand pass to Powell. Sidesteps the tackle of White. And now they're away as Fiorini gets involved once more. Drives it up towards the wing. Farrer in from the side. Takes the mark with his fingertips. And he marks centre wing for the Gold Coast Suns, leading by 15 points.
Probably should have mentioned in the first quarter too, Lord 5 disposals, Anderson 4. So doing a fantastic job on one of the informed players of the competition.
Ainsworth just chips it across to Noble, and Noble will go back to Fiorini, who's holding on to the ball in no great rush as he has it about centre wing. He gets the hurry up from the umpire, and he'll send a high kick inside 50 to Koningad front position. As the umpire called a free kick, he has, and it's just going back to his teammate and Adam Sard. So a little push in the back there, and Sard will get the free.
So 3v2 inside 50s, and Carlton haven't really made the most of those three.
A little chip towards Carroll, who's back in the goal square. And then he'll flick it out wide towards DeConey. He's in a one-on-one with Witts. Witts had front position, just brings it down to ground. And it's Ainsworth who takes the ball, just puts a flat kick inside 50. And it's Lewis Young who can clear the ball outside of defensive 50. Akers had to keep it in to stop it from going out of bounds on the full, but then Fiorini gathered for the Suns. It's the Blues who win the footy back. DeConey has it. He hand passes it straight into the hands of Royale, who's taken down the ferocious tackle by Akers.
Prior opportunity.
He got the ball lobbed, he got grabbed straight away.
He got grabbed while he was still in the air, Mick.
Exactly.
His feet weren't even on the ground.
No, it's just, they can't work it out, umpires. They can't work it out. We can't work it out. Supporters can't work it out.
Suns by 15 points. Lewis Young centres it inside the defensive 50. Sard set a fair challenge there for Haynes. It's picked up by Weller, dodging and weaving back onto his right, centering ball, and Ainsworth leads up and takes an uncontested mark.
Where are the numbers for Carlton?
Oh, boom.
That was the biggest hole I've ever seen in a game of football.
You got
25 metres out from goal.
Paddy Cripps, the captain, is running from the centre square to get in there after the ball's been marked. That was horrible by Carlton.
I think all the Carlton players from Sard's possession looked like he was out, all went forward of the football. It was a terrible kick by Sard. Turnover, the ball comes back in. There was one Carlton player in the defensive 50, it looked like.
Oh, no, it's terrible.
It's not the type of turnover you expect from an All-Australian for the Blues. There's now Ben Ainsworth to try and make them pay from 40 metres out, directly in front. The Suns have the first of the second quarter. And the last 5 in the match as they stretch it out to a 21-point lead. 6-4-40 to the Blues, 3-1-19. Meanwhile, at the Adelaide Oval, the opening goal going the way of the Fremantle Dockers, so they lead by 5 points in the early stages of that match. There is an ABC call available. It's on the ABC Listen app. Just click on the AFL Extra button. Shea Bolton with the opening goal for the Fremantle Dockers. The thoughts of Mick Moldhouse and Brent Harvey with you. The Suns by 21 points.
So let me try to paint this picture as good as I can, Mick, because that sounded really harsh that it was the biggest hole in football that I've ever seen. Saad gets the ball 45 metres out from his defensive goal. There's a Carlton player on the outside of the Gold Coast player. He's going to kick it to him. So all the next disposal, they're all making their play.
Yeah.
He misses that. Gold Coast win the ball and go in. There's no one defending because they thought that Saad was going to hit the target, which he should have.
Yep. Saad's been ordinary all year. Let's face facts. He's kicking. I don't know if he's. They believe he's a great kick. I don't know if he's ever been a great kick. He's a long kick. Now that's short, and that's 45 metres at best, and that was a shocker. That cost him a goal.
The ball up outside the centre circles, and it's a high free kick in the right contest to Jared Witts. So he has the footy still in the centre of Docklands. Just chips it out towards Holman. He'll go inside 50 with his kick. Goes over the head of Long in the end, but Anderson can grab the footy. Kicks as he's being tackled. It's a high kick towards King. Gets 2 fingertips to it. Pushes it down to Miller. He has to get rid of the footy and hand passes it away. In the end, it's taken by Lewis Young. And he's brought to ground by Ainsworth. And it will be a ball up in the right forward pocket for the Suns. They've got a 21-point lead. 7 minutes played in the second term.
There's holes everywhere in this back line.
Witts trying to get it over the back. Humphries trying to get a boot to it. First time couldn't do so. It's defended on the goal line by the Blues. And White got it to Lewis Young, who's happy to just step it over the behind line. Take the danger out of this.
No one wants to take the ball over the goal line. But if somebody's within 9 metres, I think the rule is, isn't it? You can walk and do whatever you want.
As long as you don't walk backwards with no one on you.
Kick comes right down the line. Mackay goes up for the footy. Hand passes it away. It's Miller that takes it. Can hand pass it away. He was looking for Rowell, but it's picked up by Wilson, who had to get the hand pass towards Flynn Young. He just shoves it on his boot. Gets plenty of distance on the kick, and Fogarty picks it up. Hand passes it to Mackay. He puts the footy up to no one really in particular. It was Adams who had good position.
Good call, Lauren, because it was to no one.
That was a strange kick, wasn't it?
Shocking kick.
He's kicked it 25 metres around his body. He's better off kicking as high as he can and try to hit the roof to give Carlton forward some sort of chance.
Game number 6 for Adams as he sends it up the wing. Haynes was dragged underneath it by Butterick. The Blues take the advantage. Hollands, why did he do that? Hand pass to Koenig, tackled by Rowell immediately. They turn it over. Witts' hand pass inboard, although it hasn't been reeled in just quite yet. By Powell, who's now tackled, and the umpire will pay holding the ball.
Comedy of errors.
Billy Wilson will take it back for the Blues.
Yeah, he felt sorry for him.
20-year-old, one of 4 Blues tonight playing in their first season of 2025. That's not 15. The kick inboard to Cowan, who has to swing it back to the broadcast wing. And Hollands takes the mark. The Suns by 22 points. Carlton kicked 3 of the first 4 goals of the match, and then the Suns with the last 5 goals so far. Hollands up towards half forward to Koenig in the pack. Rising high was Sam Collins, who tries to slap it away now. It spills out towards Haynes. He leaves it for Paddy Cripps, who gathers for the Blues. Hand pass to Hollands, hemmed in against the boundary line. Long kick for Mackay, close against the boundary line. There's 3 Suns competing with him. And Mac Andrews gives him a little shove as the ball goes out of play. Right forward pocket for Carlton. The Suns leading by 22 points. 10 minutes gone, second quarter.
Ball's got to come back. It's gone all the way down the race. Someone tried to throw it over it, hit the advertising hoarding, ricocheted back, but they finally got it back to the umpire. So there will be a throw-in inside of that race, inside the forward 50 for the Blues. And the umpire will flick the ball in. It comes down towards Motlop. He couldn't gather it cleanly. It'll fall down towards Lord, very close to the boundary line, just squares up the kick to the top of the goal square. Running onto it is Fogarty in an open goal square, and he goals for the Blues.
Well done.
He breaks a run of 5 consecutive goals for the Suns. And it means that the Blues score their first goal since the 16-minute mark of the first term. So, pounced on it, Fogarty gets the goal. And it means that the Suns' margin is just cut back to 16 points. Carlton 4-1-25, Gold Coast 6-5-41. 10 minutes played in the second term at Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Let's assume there's a gulf between how good individuals are in this game. When we know that, the next best thing you can do is to be able to put pressure on a back line that is not expecting, well, they want support and they need the ball given to them. So that ball around around the corner then, goes to the top of the key. It's contested in the air, and you get a player that runs from 15, 20 metres out, flush on, hits the pack, very hard to stop. It might be primitive, but it's effective if you've got no other means.
It's 100% effective, and what it gives the smalls opportunities. Otherwise, they're starved. They're starved from opportunities. You go in the same way.
How many goals did you end up kicking through your career?
I got 518.
And how many would you have got from 10 yards quick? From 10%.
Yeah,
10%.
Yeah, from Big Drew contesting and
that's
just hitting the ground.
Yep.
Ball had to come back to Matt Rowell, who takes the centre clearance, courtesy of a free kick. Inside 50, no mark claim. Butterick offers chase as Hollins gets a hand pass away. Able to link up with Will White, who sends it up the wing, and Ashton Moyer takes the mark. It's the Blues at centre half back. Risky kick inboard, never got to Hewitt. And the intercepting mark taken by Ben Long of the Suns. So between wing and half forward on the outer side, the Suns leading by 16 points. As he turns and just sends it wide out towards Jeffrey.
You've got to know your limitations in this game.
And let's go short to Toot Miller, who marks at the top of the 50, out to the right.
Oh, please don't let him do this again, Carlton. Come on.
We're all on watch because they have orchestrated a couple of superb goals where he's just able to execute 15-metre kicks and find the target. So he's gone back as far as Brett Lee to start this approach on goal. Out to the right, he'll have to kick every bit of 55, and he veers out, trying to get good purchase on it. And it's right all the way in a minor score. So the Suns lead by 17 points. A goal apiece so far in this second quarter. Shai Bolton has the opening 2 goals for the Dockers in their match against Port Adelaide. So the Dockers leading by 12 points. 10 minutes gone, opening quarter there.
Ollie Hollins with the kicking duties this time. He goes to a pack where Mackay was at the front and did well to just work at the back towards Motlop. Again, he's got to kick it along the ground and hope one of his teammates can run onto it. It's Powell that found the space, though, for the Suns, and he kicks it to centre half back. Fiorini marks, and he can switch it all the way to the outer side of the ground. Butterick runs onto it after one bounce, but has plenty of space to move and decide what to do. He kicks down the line, and Long marks again.
This is when you know your limitations. Gold Coast movement there is brilliant because they know what they're good at.
So Ben Long kicks to Rowell. He went inside 50, but it's a clearing kick that was taken by White. It's a direct turnover as Andrew marks at centre wing. Chips towards Jeffrey, and they'll switch it back to the dockside ground as he finds Noble on the AFL logo. Can dart the kick to left half forward by putting it in front of Anderson. He'll take the footy, spin around, and he'll be able to put the ball inside 50. Darts the kick into some space. And in the end, it's Carroll that gets onto it first. Can hand pass it across to Hollins, who kicks out towards Moyer. 2 hands, can't take the mark, gets support from Akers, who's very happy to be nudged over the boundary line. There'll be a throw in between wing and half forward for the Suns. It is Gold Coast leading by 17 points. 13 minutes have been played in the second term.
Mick, you asked me how many goals I kicked before. The answer was 518. It should have been about 600 and something. But we had a guy named Wayne Carey that didn't drop too many marks, unfortunately, for me.
That's right.
Grant Harvey and Mick Moldhouse with you on Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport. Ball spills out the way of Hewitt. Hand pass in the defensive 50. Hollins one way, then the other. Gets the hand pass out to Blake. In fact, Cowan. It's a clearing kick from the back pocket up towards Harry Mackay, who shoved Collins out.
That was silly.
Gave away the free kick in frustration. Collins had worked his way to the front.
Strong lad, Collins.
Oh, I think actually I've just seen the privilege of having the replay. It was a bit of a side bump there, and Collins took a little bit of a dive.
Oh, there you go.
Gold Coast Suns reliable defender sends it inside 50. Reid presents, can't take the mark. Toot Miller front and centre. Squeeze the kick despite being tackled by Hollins into the path of Witts, who cleverly pokes into the pocket. And Ben Long charging in towards the boundary line. Takes the mark just inside the field of play. It's only about 20 metres out, but on a very tight angle.
He just works super hard, doesn't he?
He does. He's fantastic.
I don't think any other player for the Gold Coast Suns would have got to that ball. He just stretched and made it his.
Not many forwards at all in the comp. He just works his guts out.
Has one already tonight. He's a fire starter for the Suns as he opens up the angle, screws it back, and now has 2. And the Suns answer back after the Carlton goal at the other end. And they restore a 23-point advantage here at Docklands. 7-6-48 to Carlton 4-1-25. Ben King booted 3 goals in the opening quarter. And now 2 for Ben Long. Mick Moldhouse and Brent Harvey with you on ABC Sport.
Mick, what do Carlton need to do right now? If you're in the coach's box, what strings can you pull to say, rightio, this game is slipping away from us ever so slowly, but we can see that Gold Coast they're dominating the game right now in all aspects.
And we know that they've got skilled players on every line, and you've got to acknowledge that. So the first thing is to acknowledge that. Mackay's got to play in between full forward and centre half forward, so he's reachable all the time. So it's no use going too far back, no use coming too far forward. He's got to be in a position where he can contest the football, crumb the ball, get your best players in the middle, and do not try to chew off things that you're not capable of doing. Just get the ball forward as often as you can.
It is Hollands who had the centre clearance and just put the ball on his boot to get some distance. A free kick has been found for the Blues.
Oh, it's back there. Why is it back there for, though?
Must have been pushing it back as he kicked it.
As he kicked it, maybe, yeah.
So it is back to Hollands. He probably gained about 50 metres with the kick, but the ball will be brought back to him.
This is where he's smart. He's got this opened up on this wing over here. No one near him.
Centre wing, he goes right down the centre of the 50.
Yep.
No mark
contest,
but it will be a free kick to Hudson O'Keefe, the big 202-centimetre forward who's been brought into the side. And he gets the free kick and the set shot at goals from basically directly in front, about 30 metres out.
So, and without, you've got to simplify the game if you're not as good as the opposition. Put it there, get the crummers. The ball could have been played out this side because they opened it right up. Gold Coast took no notice of it. But
the chance now after playing in the VFL for much of the season. He's got his first in the AFL. And Hudson O'Keefe has his teammates swarming him, as we see so often these days, as he ticks that off in a little milestone for the start of his AFL career. It's Carlton's fifth for tonight, 5-1-31. They're trailing the Suns by 17 points, 7-6-48. 17 minutes have been played in the second term. It's Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport with Brent Harvey and Mick Malthouse.
Mick, I've believed for so long, as a forward, you're a byproduct of what happens up the field.
Yep.
If the ball doesn't come in there, you can't kick goals. That's a simple
exactly
fact.
Right.
It's a simple fact. So you need to give your forwards, whether they're talls or smalls, the opportunity to go to work. O'Keefe can contest, free kick. Fogarty, contest, front and centre, goal.
Goals.
You've got to give them the opportunity to do it. If you don't get the good opportunities, you can't kick a score to win the game.
Exactly.
So that's all Carlton need to do to keep getting the ball inside forward 50. Give your forwards an opportunity.
And have fighters up there.
Yep.
Got to fight for everything that comes near them.
Paddy Cripps with just the 2 disposals so far in this quarter. As O'Keefe wins down the tap, and here is Cripps on cue. Gets a disposal. Hand pass to Hewitt. Links up with Saad. Tries to go with a barrel. He doesn't quite execute it. Up towards Jesse Motlop, who, if he didn't play the mark, he would have got a hold against Noble. He kicks into the pocket. Bumped off it too easily was Moyer. It's spoiled away by Andrews. Down low came Allen charging through, and Cooper Lord is a little late to rise. It spills out the way of Blake Acres. 50 from home. Hand pass to Motlop. Searching ball into the pack. Trying to fly high was Lord, so he's back to his feet. It spills out towards the goal line, and the Suns decide not to rush it through. Kept alive by Noble. Hand pass to Fiorini. Kicks to Matt Rao, who takes the mark with the Suns leading by 17 points.
Suns had to be very good to get that ball out then. That was kamikaze stuff by the Blues. Really impressive.
Yep, half a metre away from the boundary line, but did manage to get it out without conceding as Jeffrey just goes long down the line. In fact, it's out of bounds on the full.
They're starting to force a lot of certain errors with the Gold Coast at the moment. They're coming at them. I don't know if they're good enough to win it, but
Noah Anderson's on the bench now. He's only had the three possessions for the quarter. I would love to see him come back on and go forward to see if he can do what a Dustin Martin can do. He's a strong player.
Or tag Paddy Cripps. Reverse the role.
So Billy Wilson's kick got all the way inside 50 for the Blues, but it was easily picked up and moved out by the Suns as Noble just puts it out in front of Holman. He gathers. Hand pass, though, was picked off in the end by Hollands, and he can go for a bounce very close to the boundary line. He'll square the kick inside 50. And it's straight towards Reid, who's gone back into defence for the Suns, and he can chip it off to Noble.
Oh, he had nothing. He was squeezed into the boundary. He had nothing then. The Carlton forwards just didn't work hard enough to get over and give him something. It had to be a special kick to hit somebody.
Would you have tumble kicked in? Just to tumble the ball in, do you reckon, Boomer?
You're better off doing something, because when he looked up, he had 4 Gold Coast players.
Yeah, exactly. Just tumble the ball in and let them have to get a haphazard or a chaos ball.
A little torpedo along the ground so it can bounce any which way.
Yep.
Gold Coast Suns by 17 points. Mac Andrew at half-back. Knocks it around the outer side. When a mark is taken by Fiorini. Interestingly, just watching off the play, Oscar Adams is into Harry Mackay physically as much as he possibly can, just to try and scrag him and wrestle behind the ball. So, no doubt the umpires will keep an eye on. They work it up to Weller. The Suns centre wing on the outer side. Sends it up high ball towards Ben King. Wits, in fact, will fly and takes the mark in a pack of 4. He veers onto his left-hand side. Looks into the pocket. Reed's got forward. Can't take the mark. Had fingertips to it. Trying to dribble a kick out of defence. Was Akers. It spills back, though. And Ainsworth has bumped as he got his kick away. Was he over the boundary line before he got it away? He was. And a boundary throw in the right forward pocket for the Gold Coast Suns. They lead by 17 points, 7-6-48 to the Blues, 5-1-31, having led by 15 points at quarter time.
Ticked over 21 minutes in this second term. Wicks has front position, just pushes it away down towards Farah, who can take it. Hand pass over the top of Ainsworth. Evans has a go at it and can get it towards Lord, who moves it towards Sard, shoves it on his boot to get some distance right down to centre wing, falls to Eulens. Hand pass towards Andrew, had to backtrack to pick up the footy. His tackle to the turf. Umpire crosses his arms and it'll be a ball up city side wing of the ground. So Andrew gets up. Oh, looks a little sore, but he looks all right now as he runs away from where the ball's about to be tossed up at. Rowell and Cripps tussling at the back of the stoppage. And that's Rowell who can get the hand pass from Powell. Rowell will move it forward towards Davies, who's running. Hand pass towards Ainsworth. Just couldn't collect it cleanly. Davies comes in, soccers it inside forward 50 for the Suns, and it works beautifully because King's on the end of it.
Just got Nappin Young, I think it was, behind King because it was a spilt ball and the Gold Coast player just chucked the boot at it. Only went 20-25 metres, but King, being the smart forward, read it quickly and was in front of Lewis.
So King, fourth in the Coleman medal race, just about 16 behind Jeremy Cameron. If he can put this one through, and he sails it towards goals, and he's got it. So Ben King's already got 4 tonight, and we're 22 minutes gone in the second term. The Suns push out their lead to a game high 23 points, or an equal game high of 23 points, 8-6-54. The Blues 5-1-31. Just ticking over 23 minutes gone in the second term.
The Blues need a player like I used to play with, a bloke called Stephen Ray. Played for St Kilda, premiership player for Richmond.
Yep.
Lives in Portland. He's just texted me to say I'm listening. So I thought I'd put that in.
Beautiful.
He is a premiership player. Hasn't been overly well recently, so all the best, Stephen. But your type of play would never... I think it would easily make it here. He's that sort of
living in Texas, did you say?
No, living in Portland.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said...
Not Portland, Texas.
Not
Portland,
yeah,
Portland,
okay.
Victoria.
Yeah. Not so far.
So Ben King's career best is 6 goals. He's up to 4 already before half-time. Back in the middle of the ground. Rowell tries to win it for the Suns. Spills out the way of Davies. Kick up towards Ainsworth. Can't reel in the mark. Sard, quick hand pass away. Links up with Haynes. Through the defensive 50 to Cooper Lord and now to Jesse Motlop. Swings it out to left half-back where the mark is taken by Carroll. The Suns by 23 points. As Matt Carroll looks for options around the outer wing. He veers out to the left, away from Lockie Weller, and kicks a high ball up towards Zach Williams. McAndrew dropped the mark, had the arms chopped.
And that's an interesting match-up there. You've got Mac Andrews, who would be 200 centimetres. He's on Williams, who'd be lucky to be 182, 183 at best. They're just a little bit undermanned, the Blues.
Well, you've got to be smarter than Mick. You can't kick it to a contest and let McAndrew do...
Put the ball, instead of torpedo, just put the thing in a position where... it's got to be contested under your terms, not their terms.
You need smart footballers in today's game. If Gold Coast are going to drop a number back behind the ball, you need to know that you've got an extra at the stoppage, and you can exit by hands. You can't quick kick it back to players like McAndrew, who set up so well behind the football.
Suns worked it down the city wing to get a throw in inside forward 50. Wicks taps it down. Here's Anderson. He's got the footy. He's tackled, and that's holding the ball.
How brilliant was Wits in the ruck?
It was a good tap he put down. And it got to Anderson. He just couldn't work his way and evade the tackle. The kick comes out towards Cripps at left half back for the Blues. He almost throws the ball away. Just got it out as a legal hand pass. Was looking for Cowan, who has the footy, and Cripps has got back up. Hand passes it back to him. The captain weaving his way through a wall of Gold Coast players. Hand pass to Hollands, then hand pass back to Cripps. He's almost caught here. Still can just flick a pass away. It's pushed away, though, towards Real. It's the Suns that'll emerge with the footy. Hand pass to Anderson. A long hand pass across to Farah. Centre half forward. Moves it forward towards Reed. He's got the footy. He can hand pass it across to Ainsworth, who can walk his way in tight angle, and he kicks across goal.
Keep walking.
Oh, yeah,
Keep
that wasn't
walking.
good.
So Ben Long was there if he wanted to move it to him.
Ben
he
Long
looked
wasn't
at
there.
him too.
He was there 20 metres by himself. That's a
But he
ball.
looked at him, Boomer.
Absolutely, he did. No, that's a ball that has to go to him.
Well,
That will be on Monday's review, I'm sure.
I'd make him walk home.
It's a long walk.
Oh, it's not far enough.
He's from Morwell, Ainsworth. That's a long walk back to
he might
Morwell.
as well go that way, then onto the Gold Coast. No, that was a shocker. You just don't do that. If you're a side entering into the finals, you've got to make every post a team winner.
Shot on our monitor of Damien Hardwick as Sard brings the Blues back into play. Long to half back.
Well done.
Kick from Akers, getting back. Collins takes the intercepting mark. Knew he'd get contact.
Give him more. That wasn't just an intercepting mark. He knew he was getting contact, and that was brave.
Sends it up towards Holman, and De Koning in from the side takes the mark. And good support from Harry Mackay. So Harry now has to stream back to half forward to try and be an option to present. As De Koning sends it out wide to Haynes.
Just get forward. DeConey's got to get forward and start putting pressure on Witts. He's not putting any pressure on him at the moment.
Haynes at right half back. The former Giant sends it up towards Mackay. In from the side. Witts can't take the mark. Collins shovels a hand pass forward. Noble underneath it. Akers tries to bump him off it. It spills to Holman. They thought he was taken high. And Akers lays the tackle, and the umpire will come and ball it up in front of the two benches. Suns by 24 points. Les Pescier on the boundary. What do you think the crowd is so far tonight? The Blues' lowest crowd so far is 32,000, so keep an eye on that.
I don't know if there's a free kick there, but anyway, it's two blokes going at each other.
It doesn't look like the biggest crowd at all, Clinchy, as Hewitt takes it and just kicks down towards Mackay. We picked up, though, by Powell, who was left half back for the Suns. Curls it towards Noble, just keeps it in.
Motlop playing so far behind his man. I don't know whether he's looking for the real perfect kick. He's not going to get it. He's got to come up the ground. As you say, Boomer, those are sort of players that have got to get that crumbing ball to help out the talls.
He's actually a decent kick too, so he should be winning the ball 70 out from goal, and actually if he's not scoring, kicking the ball in at least.
Yes.
So Noble's kick a turnover. Lewis Young has it and sends it right down to half forward for the Blues. Hewitt has to hurry a kick away. It'll bobble its way inside 50 for the Blues. Cowan goes chasing after it, but he was behind Noble. And they just try and push it over, gain the advantage, and it will be a throw-in inside forward 50 for the Blues. So perhaps a very late chance for them. They're trailing by 24 points late in the second term.
So 3-2 the way of the Suns so far in this second quarter. Just thrown back in Witts and De Koning, and the siren sounds for half-time. So the Suns, having led by 15 points at quarter time, lead by 24 points at the main break. After booting 5 goals from the end of the 20-minute mark of the opening quarter through to the first goal of the second to open up an advantage, but the Blues are able to wrestle back on 2 occasions to very much still be in this contest. The Suns by 24 points at half-time. The goal kickers, 4 goals for Ben King coming in that opening half, while Ben Long has a couple as well for the Gold Coast Suns. Individuals to Witts and to Ainsworth for the Suns, while for the Blues, goals coming through 2 to Francis Evans, individuals to Fogarty, Mackay and O'Keefe. Half-time here at Docklands, the Suns leading by 24 points, while it's quarter-time at the Adelaide Oval. And the Fremantle Dockers with the opening 4 goals of the match, 4-5-29 to Port Adelaide, 4 behinds. Shea Bolton with 2 goals for the Dockers, individuals Tracy and De Frederick. The thoughts of Mick Malthouse and Brett Harvey with you at half-time here at Docklands. The Suns by 24 points.
Well, Boomer, it's all class that's winning the game. If you have a look at it, the endeavour by both sides is quite strong, as you mentioned about Collins typified Gold Coast by coming back into that pack. I mean, they really got to clean him up. I know he's a big bloke, but nonetheless, you still can get really cleaned up. There's no question the endeavour. I just think sometimes the work ethics of the high forwards at Carlton and sometimes their mids are lacking. I just don't think they really push hard enough to help out their back line and then work back up the ground. Maybe they haven't got enough numbers. Maybe they spend too much time on the ball. I'm not sure. I haven't got numbers for that. And I know that the Gold Coast depth is a lot stronger, so perhaps they can get that by having shorter bursts on the ball and really working it. I think Witts, the Coning's okay, but Witts is teaching him a lesson.
Yep, agree.
King's had 4 from 4 marks. It all gets back to exactly what you said. Beautifully disposal to the forwards. The difference is, if you look at the Fogarty's goal, I don't think it was a mark. There was a mark from Harry Mackay. O'Keefe's was probably a mark, and that's about it. I think there's only 2 marks there, whereas I reckon that Ainsworth, was Ainsworth a mark? I'm not sure. I'm not
sure.
Not sure, but anyway, the difference in the side is clearly class and probably numerical numbers that go right down to probably 17, 18, whereas the Blues run at about 10 or 11, I reckon.
Yeah, I totally agree, Mick. I thought Gold Coast kicked some easy goals.
Yeah.
There was one that I mentioned where the ball hit the deck, a Gold Coast player just threw his boot at him, and King was 5 metres in front of his opponent. That's an easy goal for me, because I would have thought someone of King's calibre, you would have your arm across, you would have your finger in his back, you could do whatever you want, but don't be 5 metres behind him at any stage when the ball could potentially come in. They just set up well behind the ball, the Gold Coast Suns. I'm really happy that I'm here tonight to watch them. It was the first time I've watched them live this year. They are a fantastic kicking team.
Yes,
they're a better kicking team than I actually thought. And I put Hawthorn, I put Adelaide in that bracket of probably the best kicking teams. If I'm going to say that, Gold Coast are not too far behind them.
No, I agree with you. This is the first time I've seen them live.
Yeah.
You watch them on TV, you see the kick, and that's about it. But here you're watching the work the ball down the ground. They've got a good system, that forward line too, Boomer. You know,
no, I agree. They lead out.
Yes, they do.
We've spoken about that channel or the bubble or the hole, whatever you want to call it. They leave that open quite a bit, and King just leads into it and can soar through the air. And, of course, he's so tall, puts his arms up, he's going to be hard to stop. So it's a good display by the Gold Coast Suns.
Just on what you just said then, the Coning's got to, as a ruckman, if he's in such high demand, he's got to work behind the ball like, say, a Gawn to fill that hole. So it makes King have to change his leading patterns. At the moment, he could just lead straight up. There's no one there. I watched him there at one stage lead up. Witts stood on one side of the ground. De Koning stood on the other. He must have thought they were going to kick it to him, and they would have had to kick the ball at right angle to get the ball to him. And that's Gold Coast. So he has to learn to work, either take the place of where Wiedering starts, and Wiedering can start 5 or 6 metres in front of King's lead, or vice versa.
Yes.
But you can't just stand outside 50 and hoping the ball's going to keep coming out to you.
Well, that changes everything for Carlton's defenders.
Yep.
If he's there, King can't lead there, so you can play him slightly different.
That's it.
But if he's there and you're playing back shoulder, you're just leaving a huge channel. 18 to 32 inside 50s too.
Oh no, that's dangerous.
It's a pretty big number at this stage.
15 to 6 scoring shots. You know, everything points towards, if the game just keeps going like this, it goes towards the Gold Coast clearing up and finishing themselves on this weekend in probably
just outside the top 4.
Yes, if Fremantle keep going, and a game up their sleeve. So all things are pointed towards Gold Coast making the finals for the first time. They win this one. I think it's just about a late Amber's there. And secondly, they're worthy of it.
Yep.
That's the most important thing. I don't think the only lack of experience is the only thing, but that you get in the finals football and you focus in on the game more so than whether you're old or young or whatever. They do a lot of things right.
And this is with Noah Anderson having no impact in the game.
No, and it's credit to the Carlton doing
He's had 9 disposals, and Lord has had 12.
Yep.
So,
but this is the thing,
that's a break even.
Isn't it, Boomer? You only have, as you said, 9 from Noah Anderson. You have 13 from Matt Rao, and Toot Miller, the experienced campaigner in there, has 15 disposals, 4 clearances, 3 of which are centre bounce clearances, 3 inside 50s, and 7 score involvements.
And using the ball super well, dropping the eyes as we've...
you can't tag a ball, can you?
You can't, and that's the benefit of having such a really good midfield.
Yeah.
If they want to go to Miller in the second half, you know what Anderson's going to do. You know what Rao does every single time. And that's why I probably mentioned, can Anderson add another string to his bow by going forward and hitting the scoreboard with, and I'm not talking 1 or 2 goals, I'm saying can he kick 3 or 4 in a game? We know Dustin Martin, when things weren't working in the middle. Patrick Dangerfield, when things weren't working in the middle, they go forward and hit the scoreboard. Noah Anderson's big enough, he's strong enough, he's smart enough, and he's good enough.
Yep.
So why can't he go forward and say, rightio, Lord, if you want to go with me, now you're coming forward and you're playing on my terms.
I'd always do that with Paddy Cripps as well, you know.
Yep.
He's had 1 and 12. He's only kicked the ball once. He is 195, So he goes forward and a small defender has to pick him up because they're not going to tag him on ball and tag him forward on it. So you don't have to be resting on the bench. I know that I've virtually created a lot of that misery for the league, saying how many numbers can go through the interchange. But nonetheless, there's some players, they get wasted by sitting on the bench. Yeah, once or twice a quarter, but he could go forward and
impact.
And it's a different look, isn't it?
100% it is. I if I was coaching, my resting midfielders, the very good ones, would certainly be playing in the goal square.
They're so hard to stop.
Yeah, he had 36 disposals last week, Patrick Cripps, but he looks like he is labouring a little tonight. Just the one kick from his 13 disposals. The thoughts of Mick Malthouse and Boomer Harvey with you on ABC Sport. Earlier today, the upset came with the Sydney Swans defeating the Brisbane Lions by 2 points. The Lions finished with the last 4 goals of the match, and the Saints prevailed by 4 points over the Tigers to make it 3 wins on the trot. We'll pause for the moment with the Suns leading by 24 points at Docklands over the Blues and bring you the latest from the ABC newsroom.
ABC News with David Rowlands. The New Zealand Prime Minister says Israel's actions in Gaza in the past 24 hours have plumbed new levels. Australia and New Zealand's foreign ministers have signed a joint statement along with the UK, Germany and Italy, condemning Israel's plans to launch large-scale military action in Gaza. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has been in Queenstown today, meeting with his New Zealand counterpart Christopher Luxon, who says the neighbouring countries share the same position.
It's certainly plumbed new levels, and that's why you've seen both of our foreign ministers sign up to a statement today with other countries as well, 3 or 4 other countries, to make that very clear that actually even the latest action of Israel we've seen in the last 24 hours is wrong, and actually it risks violating international law.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says his country's territorial integrity is enshrined in its constitution and is non-negotiable, ahead of talks between the US President and his Russian counterpart in Alaska next week. Here's the BBC's Jonathan Beale.
President Zelensky said Ukraine would not give Russia any reward for starting the war. In his first reaction to reports that Presidents Trump and Putin will discuss Ukraine giving up some of its territories in the east, for which Ukrainian soldiers have been fighting and dying, Mr. Zelensky made clear that was unacceptable under the nation's constitution. He said no one can change that. He did not directly criticize Donald Trump, but stated that any decisions without Ukraine were dead decisions that will never work. They would, he said, be decisions against peace.
The city of Nagasaki has marked 80 years since the second atomic bombing of Japan by the United States. The attack killed tens of thousands of people just 3 days after the bombing of Hiroshima. Dignitaries gathered at the Nagasaki Peace Park, where Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba spoke at 11:02 in the morning, the exact time the plutonium bomb exploded above the city. Mr. Ishiba says Japan is committed to creating a world free of nuclear weapons.
No matter how difficult the circumstances may be, as the only nation to have suffered from the atomic bomb in war, it is our mission to uphold the 3 non-nuclear principles and take the lead in international efforts to achieve a world free of nuclear war and nuclear weapons.
The ABC understands that the Tasmanian government will end its funding for greyhound racing by 2029, effectively winding up the industry in the state. The timing coincides with the end of the current funding deal for the code, which concludes in 4 years' time. The Liberal government's move comes amid its attempt to secure the support of crossbenchers after failing to win a majority at the recent snap election. The ABC has contacted the government and Tas Racing for comment. Police are searching for 6 males following a stabbing in Melbourne's southwest. Police say the group, armed with machetes, assaulted a 14-year-old boy at the Pacific Werribee shopping centre in Hoppers Crossing just after 4:30 this afternoon before fleeing in a black sedan. The boy has been taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police are investigating the incident. Staying in Victoria, where a council in Melbourne's west says it remains committed to the construction of a stadium and activity precinct, despite its major partner, Soccer Club Western United, losing its licence to play in the A-League men's competition. Joshua Allen has more on this story.
Football Australia stripped the club of its licence after an independent body judged it was no longer fit to hold it. The club has faced financial issues in recent years, delaying payments to players and staff, and was banned from registering players by world governing body FIFA following a dispute with a former player. The club partnered with Wyndham City Council to announce the Wyndham Stadium precinct, which included a 15,000-seat stadium and a world-class entertainment, business and residential precinct. Council says it's protected by robust commercial and financial contracts with the club and remains committed to delivering its vision.
Turning to sport, and Sydney has fought off a flurry of final quarter goals by Brisbane to hold on and win by just 2 points in their AFL match at the Gabba. It finished 13-14-92 to 13-12-90. Sydney's Isaac Heaney kicked 5 goals in the upset victory. Earlier, St Kilda beat Richmond by 4 points in the MCG. In the National Rugby League, the Sydney Roosters have thrashed the Redcliffe Dolphins by 64 points to 12 at Lang Park this afternoon. While in the earlier match, St George Illawarra toppled Cronulla 22-14. This is ABC News.
Hi, I'm Corbin Middlemass.
And I'm Ed Cowan.
He played Test cricket for Australia.
And Ed Cowan gets his first Test match century.
And he commentates the cricket.
Stark tries again. He rocks in straight through him. Together, we're giving you your weekly cricket conversation.
We're pulling apart the biggest stories in the sport and delivering them to you each and every week.
It's called the Grandstand Cricket Podcast. Find it on the ABC Listen app.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Sard, centre fair challenge there for Haynes. It's picked up by Weller, dodging and weaving back on his right, centering ball. And Ainsworth leads up and takes an uncontested mark.
Where are the numbers for Carlton?
Oh,
that was the biggest hole I've ever seen in a game of football.
You've got
25 metres out from goal.
Paddy Cripps, the captain, is running from the centre square to get in there after the ball's been marked. That was horrible by Carlton.
Then Ainsworth to try and make them pay from 40 metres out, directly in front. The Suns have the first of the second quarter.
It'll ball down towards Lord, very close to the boundary line, just squares up the kick to the top of the goal square. Running onto it is Fogarty in an open goal square, and he goals for the Blues.
Well done.
Toot Miller front and centre, squeeze the kick despite being tackled by Hollands into the path of Witts, who cleverly pokes into the pocket, and Ben Long charging in towards the boundary line. Takes the mark just inside the field of play. Has one already tonight. He's a fire starter for the Suns as he opens up the angle, screws it back, and now has 2. And the Suns answer back after the Carlton goal at the other end.
Centre wing, he goes right down the centre of the 50.
Yep.
No mark of
contest,
but it will be a free kick to Hudson O'Keefe. Chance now after playing in the VFL for much of the season. He's got his first in the AFL. And Hudson O'Keefe has his teammates swarming him, as we see so often these days, as he ticks that off in a little milestone for the start of his AFL career. Rell will move it forward towards Davies, who's running, hand pass towards Ainsworth, just couldn't collect it cleanly. Davies comes in, soccers it inside forward 50 for the Suns, and it works beautifully because King's on the end of it. And he sails it towards goals, and he's got it. So Ben King's already got 4 tonight, and we're 22 minutes gone in the second term.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
It's the Gold Coast Suns who lead by 24 points over the Blues. Great to have your company on Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden calling the action. Lex Pesce down on the boundary. Now, 2 men who have played and coached more games than anyone else in VFL, AFL footy, Mick Malthouse and Brent Harvey. So, earlier today, the shock upset, the Sydney Swans winning by 2 points over the Brisbane Lions. And all of a sudden, while the top 9 has been settled for some time, we have a humdinger of a battle for who will finish on top, with 4 teams, if Fremantle prevail over Port Adelaide, potentially all locked on 60 points. So that's a chance to really shape the final 2 rounds of the home and away season, 15 wins and 5 losses. And the intriguing part about it is the Suns still have a game to play in round 24 ahead of the rest of the pack, so they could potentially be in that conversation as well, fighting for a top 4 spot. And Brisbane just a 2-point gap to the Hawks, who are currently in 7th spot on the ladder. The Giants and the Bulldogs will get their chance to play over the rest of the weekend. But so much still to play. Your thoughts coming through on the SMS 0437 774 774. And don't forget, cricket is back on your radio tomorrow night on the ABC Listen app. The first of the T20s between Australia and South Africa coming to you. So Mitch Marsh to lead the side. Corbin Bittermass and Neil Manthorpe will be there to bring you all the coverage alongside Jason Gillespie and Stuart Clark. So on the ABC Listen app, just look for the cricket button. Yarraman in Queensland says, question for Mick, are the Suns genuine finals contenders? I've been a Geelong supporter since 1956 and they are experienced. They just keep ticking along. Pies lose, Lions lose this weekend. Can the Suns handle the pressure of finals footy, Mick, is the question coming through from Yarraman in Queensland, who wants to know, are you starting to become a genuine believer in the Suns? Boomer, why don't you go first crack? Are you starting to be impressed with what you're seeing tonight to, I guess, show there are no vulnerabilities in their game as we close in on the home and away season?
Yeah, I am, and it probably started a couple of weeks ago when they played Brisbane and really got a hold of them. That was the first time where I really thought, oh, well, these guys they're well drilled, because I think they had a pretty heavy loss, if I can remember, the week before
against
that.
Adelaide.
Adelaide, was
yeah.
it? Yeah, Adelaide looked like they just did everything right, and Gold Coast didn't have an answer for it. But then they came out the following week and played Brisbane, I just thought, and I really rate Brisbane.
Yeah.
So Gold Coast to do that to Brisbane, I thought, yes, they are a finals contender. Can they win the big one this year at the MCG? I'm not 100% sure on. I think that might be a bit of a challenge too far, but I think they're right in that window next year. We've got to remember, who's out of the team right now off the top of my head? Rioli's not playing.
Yeah, Dan Rioli.
Not many.
Charlie Ballard, he's been out all year.
Walter.
Jed Walter.
Yeah, Walter's not playing. So there's probably three that walk back into their team. Rioli had something. Walter had something. So, yes, I'm a believer, but I don't think they can win the flag.
But, Boomer, what if they get a double chance?
Or a home final.
That's if they can get a home final, that changes.
Well, if they, well, regardless, if they finish in the top four, you're going to get a home final.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that works out, doesn't it? If you win...
Well, they finish, Mick. I'm just trying to look at the ladder as we're speaking.
Well, they can finish fourth.
If they can sneak in and they get a home final, yes, they can do some damage. But I think everything needs to go right for them.
Oh, yeah.
They need to finish top four, potentially, get a home final. They're good players, play well on the big days. And it's like every club, I guess. If you're 5% off or 10% off, you can get beaten this year. It's the first time for a long time that I actually put 5 or 6 teams in there that can generally win the flag.
Who will win it? Right off the top, if you had one...
Right now, if I was going to pick one, from the start of the year, I said Brisbane. I haven't liked what I've seen in recent times, especially today against Sydney. Geelong looks the goods. And I can't bring myself to say it, but I think Adelaide are going super well.
Yeah, they are.
They're a kicking team. I really rate kicking teams.
I reckon the ninth side are as good as anyone going around.
Yeah.
And I think
they're probably going to be ninth again because of the fact that Fremantle look like winning. I don't know what the score is there.
Well, if they can sneak in, Mick, they can do what they did in 2016.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Players are back in position. Second half is ready to go. The Gold Coast Suns by 24 points. Here's Lauren Borden.
Witts in the middle gets the tap out away towards Rao, paddling it forward, picks up the footy, tucks it under his arm, gets the advantage and puts it straight inside 50 for the Suns. Falls at the back. Farah in a tussle with Sard, desperately trying to get the footy. Haynes comes in to help out Sard and takes the ball. Farah takes him to the turf and it'll be a ball up. Very close to the Gold Coast Suns goal. They're leading by 24 points at the start of this third term. So 8-7, 55 to Carlton, 5-1, 31. Ball is tossed up and it's socked away by DeConey. It goes straight into the hands of Fiorini though. Crumbs puts it through the middle and it's a very early opening term goal for the Suns. Just 40 seconds and they're on the board in the third term. Braden Fiorini with his first tonight, and the Suns lead is now out to 5 goals. 9-7-61, Carlton 5-1-31. And not even a minute played in this opening term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Mick, just as that ball was getting bounced, and I didn't say it, but I wish I had it now, I wanted to say Carlton just can't afford another easy goal here. The ball spills out, DeConey kicks it off the ground. Gold Coast are just set up super well.
Yeah.
No Carlton players.
Sitting defensively, they're sitting back defensively, whereas Carlton have got to get in between that, don't they?
Well, a player has to roll up to him. He's sitting as a winger or a forward on his own, 6 metres by himself, 10 metres out from goal. It's a sin.
And the worst thing about what we've seen all year with Carlton, second halves are generally pretty ordinary.
That is where they fall away. Back in the middle, DeConing wins down the tap to Zach Williams. Streaming out of the middle is Paddy Cripps. The captain fires on goal. It's offline to the right. As O'Keefe was wrestling with Mac Andrew, and the score won't even count. As the free kick will go the way of Andrew, who was being held on the goal line. Throws out the old argument, you can do whatever you want on the goal line, because Andrew gets the free kick for the Suns. Looks to try and find a way out of defence as he just lowers his kick and finds Bodie Yulin.
These are the kicks that you've got to stop, because the next one goes to the wing and you've got to start all over again. You've got to stop that first kick coming out of the right back on the back line.
In the left back pocket, sends it up the city wing. DeConing in the pack, nudged Jared Witts underneath it and takes a good mark for the Blues. Centre wing on the city side. The Suns leading by 30 points.
Yeah, really good mark. Mick called for that before. He needs more of that.
Distance on the kick. O'Keefe went up in the pack. Couldn't mark though. The ball will spill out of attacking 50 for the Blues and be picked up by Davies of the Suns. Hand pass to Anderson, who hand passes to Farrer in the centre of Docklands. Works it with Rowell. Back to Anderson, all by quick hands. Hand passes across to Butterick. Centre half forward, inside 50, looking for King. Just knocked out of it. Couldn't take the mark. Still in the forward pocket. Humphries has it. Hand passes it away. King will have to chase after it. In the end, he's doing the tackle wing on Akers. Still the Suns trying to find a way. Miller has it. Tries to get a kick away. Very close to the boundary. Butterick sees it over. But it will be a throw-in very deep inside forward 50 for the Suns. Ahead by 30 points, early stages of the third.
Wow,
2v1.
Very lucky of the Carlton Football Club there, because Gold Coast, I don't even know the player who kicked it in, but it had a 2v1. He went to King, who had a player.
It was Wiedering that stood up. He was fantastic, 2v1, but how do you get 2v1 in your back half?
Thrown back in, Witts knocks it down to the front. Humphries comes charging through. He's tackled by Sard, and the umpire will ball it up. 35 metres out from the Gold Coast Suns goal. They lead by 30 points. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. DeConing reaches over the top of Witts, wins down the tap. Rowell sharks it back to Fiorini. Nowhere to go as Akers and Cripps both lay the tackle. So Rowell alongside Patrick Cripps as this next stoppage takes place. DeConing tries to knock it down. Farrell lays the tackle. They all turn to the umpire. This is problematic. No effort trying to be knocked out. And Zach Williams on the bottom of the pack.
I think that's fair. He's jumped on it. No attempt. Just try to stand up. Do something. Just do something that indicates that you're trying to get rid of the footy.
He just laid there, didn't he?
He just laid there, yeah.
So show something.
Boomer, just going back to that time where it was Wiedering versus 2, that's that lack of workload through the middle by Carlton to get the numbers pushing in to help out.
Yep.
Well, how could a side like Gold Coast outnumber forward of the ball?
Well, it's through work rate, Mick.
It is.
But the kick was terrible by the Gold Coast player. Yeah. He had one spare. Just kick it to him.
Jai Farron, just his third game for the season, has put it 5 goals, 1 as it comes in, and this time leans back and misses to the right-hand side. The commentator's curse there. Gold Coast Suns leading by 31 points.
Adam Sard in game number 214 will bring it in for the Blues.
He's got to get distance here. Just get out. You're a running player. You've gone to your wrong side to start off.
In the end, he just dinks the kick to the top of the 50. Mark taken by Cowan, and he chips it forward to Cripps, who marks diving. Still inside defensive forward 50. Hand passes it to Cowan, who wants to go on a run. He moves it to White in the centre of the ground. Hand pass across to Williams. Overruns the footy, then had to go back over it. Allows the Suns it in as Noble takes it. Hand passes it to Fiorini, who kicks out wide towards Farrer. And now the Suns have it on the dockside wing. And Farrer slows things down just by chipping it inboard to Yulin. He moves it towards Anderson, and now they'll switch it back to the city side of Docklands as the kick was coming towards Collins. He got nudged out of it by Carroll. Carroll and Mackay trying to work the footy away for the Blues, and they might just be able to do this. Mackay, hand pass to Carroll, might have been held. He was. Free kick.
First time that Carlton have looked like having numbers that may win the footy.
Matt Carroll takes the free kick. Veers out to the left. Sends the Blues inside 50. Moyer presents. Mac Andrews slaps it away. Running onto it, Ollie Hollands. Hand pass away to Cooper Lord, who at the last minute pulls his kick. Good option. Fogarty was free. And he takes the mark as Holman tried to come charging in late. But everyone thought he was going to unload and have a shot on goal, Ollie Hollands. So Cooper Lord, so good decision in the end.
Yep. Either take responsibility or make sure the ball gets to that that teammate.
It was a great kick, wasn't it? Because I thought he was having a shot on goal as well, and just seen someone Fogarty on the corner of his eye.
Lockie Fogarty looking for his second goal, directly in front, 25 metres out. The goal umpire is scampering to the right, and a minor score. A golden opportunity goes begging for the Blues.
What sort of kick was that, Boom?
He just tried to kick it. He did what Nick Larkey does, but Nick Larkey practices and practices and practices. He just tried to put it over the goal umpire's hat.
But he dropped the ball terribly.
Inside of his
front. Yeah, he was front on.
Didn't kick through the football. Everything that you say to do, he didn't do, unfortunately.
So it'll be brought out towards Rowell, who has the footy, and he just barges away in the pack, takes a bounce, and then darts the kick inside 50. King's there. He's got some space on Wiedering, and he marks.
Yeah, I'm all for Wiedering, but he allowed him to have 3 or 4 steps inside the corridor and then try to make the big lunge instead of bullying King first up. Just get your arm across him, push him as hard as you can, make him have to make the play. He didn't have to do anything but just stand still and take the mark.
So end-to-end transition, Jeffrey straight to Rowell, who just ran away with the footy and delivered it to King inside the forward 50, where he'll kick from directly in front of goals, about 40 metres out, sails this one over the goal umpire's head. And that is a high five for Ben King tonight. He's got half the Suns' goals, 10-8-68. They're leading Carlton 5-2-32. 36 points is now the margin. Just 8 minutes of ticked over in play in the third term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Your experts, Bruno Harvey and Mick Malthouse.
How bad's that miss and goal?
That's the old what is it?
The double.
It's an unforgivable miss. But then another cardinal sin, another basic fundamental football 101. Carlton go to a contest, the ball's in the air, they let the ball get out the back.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I understand what you're saying about Wiedering on King. I do understand that, Mick. But when Rowell is running through the middle of Marvel Stadium with time and space to take a bounce, then look up and put the ball wherever you want it, it's bloody hard for a defender. So I feel a little bit for Wiedering.
Well, they're getting mauled in the middle, aren't they?
And Rowell gets a free kick and breaks away. He runs away from Paddy Cripps, then jumping to the back of his jumper, he breaks away. Kicks inside 50. Here's Ben Long. Worked his way to the front and takes the mark. And a few of the Suns players are keen to let Lewis Young know about it.
50 metres.
The image of Matt Rowell streaming out of the middle and breaking away from a second effort of Paddy Cripps. And then unfortunately for the Carlton defence, caught flat-footed, and Ben Long in the right place at the right time. Got Cannon into the back, and he'll put through his third from the top of the goal square. And the Suns all of a sudden with 3 unanswered goals to start this third quarter and lead by 42 points. 11-8-74 to the Blues, 5-2-32. It's all unravelling for Carlton at the moment.
Centre bounce clearance again, Mick. We all know how basic football can be. You win the centre bounce clearance.
Yep.
Get the ball forward.
6v6. Yep.
6v6. If you don't score from it, the defenders come and squeeze the ground. Carlton win the football, take it out, but Gold Coast is set so well up. Ball goes straight back in, another score opportunity, but they didn't even need that. The last 2 goals have come in there. It's been pretty basic and pretty easy. You called Long at the start of the game, Mick. You said you like him and how hard he works. Well, that was just a one-on-one contested ball. That's a strong mark for a guy his size.
He is a beauty. You've got to change this midfield up, Boomer. Like Cripps is being done over with speed. Get some different looks in there, because right now they are just getting mauled.
Coning jumps over Witts to get the tap out. It's straight to Anderson, though. His kick just comes down, and it's well stopped by Hollands, who can try and get the footy towards Lord. He has it. Little hand pass across to Hewitt. He's stuck in a lot of traffic. Hand pass across to Hollands. He's tackled to the turf. Suns trying to win the footy. Fiorini and Holman helping. And Fiorini on the bottom of the pack gets the free kick. So a little bit high for Fiorini. And he hand passes quickly. Looks as he's limping as well. Hand passes it away in the centre of the ground to Powell, who goes inside 50. There'll be another free kick, though.
No.
Hang on, the umpires are communicating here. Initially, the gesture was against Patrick Cripps for a free kick going to Humphreys at half forward. And now I think they're trying to work out whether Cripps retaliated. And he's been penalised as a result of that. So
whose ball is it?
Yeah, but not only that.
Umpire has it in the forward 50 for the Suns.
No one knows.
They got no idea. Every umpire is looking at every umpire.
And who's going to get the free kick?
Well, it must be 50 metres from Fiorini, is it? From where the ball was.
So the replay was showing Humphrey kind of pushing Cripps a little as they both tangled with each other.
Wow.
Fiorini free kick from directly in front of goal.
That was a bit of a delay in play for not a lot of reason. It was just a 50-metre penalty in the end, wasn't it?
So the free kick is against Patrick Cripps, but it's right. A 50-metre penalty from the middle of the ground, and Fiorini now taken directly in front, 35 metres out.
It's all a little strange. You can see the umpires listening in their earpieces. That's where it stands. With Braden Fiorini looking to come in on a set shot and put through his second of the quarter. It's a low ball, but it's a good ball, and he's got the finish. Fiorini capitalises on whatever the free kick was for. No one on the ground knew what was happening, but it is the Giants who come through with the 6 points. They're now 48 points to the good against the Blues, who are 5-2-32. The Suns 12-8-80, and 12 minutes are played in the third term.
I'll be interested to see. I'll just do a little calculation of what the AFL do with their ladder. Any significant victory here with the percentage is going to cause all sorts of problems for sides that haven't got a good percentage.
Yeah, and this is going to be a bit of a blowout. If Gold Coast, they've kicked 4 goals in 12 minutes in this third quarter.
Exactly.
If it continues at this trend, it's going to be a 100-point win. It's getting a little bit embarrassing for the Blues. Just we're talking about the centre bounce clearances, and we see Rao run away with the ball. Hit outs. Witts has had 26 hit outs. DeConing only 12. So giving them first use.
Yeah, exactly.
3-1. The centre bounce clearance is the way of the Suns in this third quarter. Here's a chance for the Blues. DeConing takes out of the middle, having followed up after his ruck work. He kicks into the pocket. Francis Evans can't keep it alive as it ricochets off him in front of Bodie Yulin, and a throw in the left forward pocket. On the SMS 0437 774 774. Grant in Hobart, don't take this the wrong way, but I'm going to bed. As good as the call has been from all of you, I've had enough of Carlton in 2025.
Take your radio with you.
I think that's sort of understandable, Grant, because it might get worse. Throw in. Here's a chance for Yulin. Gets a hand pass away to Rao. Look away, hand pass Powell. A free kick for a hold off the ball. And it's going Carlton's way. You can hear the Bronx cheers here. And Francis Evans is going to get the free kick and a shot on goal from the left forward pocket. 45 metres out from goal. Didn't see a great deal there in what led to that, but it's against Bodie Yulin.
Well, we know he's got the distance in his legs, so this one's about 6 or 7 metres closer than the one he had in the first quarter.
Kicked 2 in the opening quarter, so he has been a shining light for Carlton in their 5 goals so far in the match. They need to offer some sort of resistance here because the Suns have booted the last 5. From just inside 50, Evans fires. It's a good kick. And he sends it straight through the middle. Something for Carlton fans to savour. It's their first goal since the 17-minute mark of the second quarter. Comes at the 14-minute mark of the third. Carlton 6-2-38 to the Suns 12-8-80. And Francis Evans has 3 for the Blues. Ahead of Mick and Boomer. Lex Pescier on the boundary.
Mick, I think it was you who mentioned Patrick Cripps in the middle. His shoulder does look like it's giving him a bit of grief. He keeps looking down at it and moving around with it. So I wonder if that's really hampering him tonight.
Yeah, may well be. He does carry a lot of injuries. He's a bit of a warrior already. Been in the system for a long time. I do think he has got a shoulder problem. He had one last year. His shoulder is always taped up. Yeah,
big workload on him, as you mentioned, Mick. Used to get smashed around, and still he's getting smashed around every time he wins a contested football. The players are into it.
Well, they might be better off putting him forward and to bring someone else up.
Back in the middle, Witts and O'Farrell do the ruck work. Witts can just tap it down towards Miller. Hand pass to Rao, just shrugs off Evans and can put the kick inside 50 for the Suns. It's a high ball in there to the pack. Reid was at the back. There'll be an umpire's whistle and a free kick to the Gold Coast Suns. Play on advantage. Ainsworth has a shot at goal and misses.
Yeah.
So it was Ainsworth a little earlier on who missed long in the second term, and he's gone and taken the advantage on Reid, who would have had a set shot 30 metres out from goal, 45-degree angle.
Yeah, Dennis Plagan used to say, live and die by the sword, son. If you go back and kick that, you're going okay, but if you don't, gee whiz.
43 points is the Suns' lead as Hollands brings the Blues back into play. Kicks towards half-back, and Witts brings it down to the front where Motlop is tackled and held up. What about over at the Adelaide Oval, where the Dockers kicked the first 4 goals of the match? Port Adelaide managed 4 behinds. The Power have kicked 7 goals to 3 in the second quarter, and Fremantle have just wrestled back the lead by 3 points. So approaching half-time there. The Dockers holding a 3-point advantage with so much ramifications on the top 8. From the stoppage at half forward, the Suns, Ollie Hollands is locked up, and the umpire will ball it up once more. Hollands with 3 disposals so far in this third quarter has led the way with 18 for the Blues in this match. Just Matt Rao with 19 has had more.
So back in the middle, Witts just palms it down. It goes towards Lord for the Blues. High, skying ball into the middle. Powell does well to work his opponent off the footy in Evans of the Blues, and then darts the kick towards Miller. It was just 15. Good kick just forward of the 2 centre circles.
Those where they've been cut this lawn, they're 12.5 metres.
So Miller, again, just checks before he sends the kick into the pocket towards Butterick, juggles the mark. And he'll have a set shot from the forward pocket 30 metres out.
That's a great mark. There was a lot of forward craft in that, even though he played a lot of football down back. Led his player underneath the ball and timed that really, really well.
So here's Connor Butterick. Hasn't kicked a goal yet tonight. It's his 50th game as well. A Suns Academy product, originally from South Australia. Robe, beautiful part of the world. Close-ish to Portland, I guess. We'll talk about that a little earlier on. But he has his kick from the pocket. It starts right. It just doesn't swing its way back enough. And it's just 1 point for the Suns. 44 points is their advantage now. 17 minutes played in the third term. It's Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
On the SMS, 0437 774 774. Boomer and Mick, keep an eye on the number of throws the Suns are getting away with.
Oh, everyone does it. The old hand pass over the back of the head.
Yeah. Bulldogs are the best at it.
Oh, well, it used to be a throw. And it's just got to the stage where now they go, we'll just let it go. Everyone does it.
Rowell and others have very loose relationships for hands in their handballs, so one to keep an eye on. Cowan to Hollands. The Blues out of defence up to the wing where Collins takes the mark. Gets the hand pass away to Weller. Through Fiorini in the middle of the ground. Decides to come back to Weller. Across half back. Kicks up to Butterick.
Was touched. Umpire.
Was touched. Eventually,
from up here.
Play on is called. Butterick swings onto his left. Bangs it inside. 50. Well, Haynes thought he had it under control, and Davies came racing back and is able to pinch the mark just inside 50. Out to the right, courageously from Alex Davies.
Yeah, showed a lot of courage there, you're right, Clinchy. That was a really courageous mark. At the reach across the play, coming right at him. You're opened up, your rib cage is open, your elbows, get bent back.
And Haynes is probably not that kind of player, but you just never know what you're going to get on the other end. And Davies from outside 50 sets flight. It's offline to the left. It won't have the journey. Reed flies, and O'Keefe's got back for the Blues and rushes it through for a minor score. 44 points is the Gold Coast Suns lead. They got out by 48 in this third quarter after the Blues' last goal through Francis Evans. Lex Pesce on the boundary.
It looks like Carlton are about to make their sub, so Corey Durden will come in. I'm just trying to find out who that's for.
And thanks, Lex, as the kick from Hollands will be a turnover. Farah's got it and marked it 52 metres out from the Suns' goal. So a direct turnover from the kicking as Farah kicks it back inside 50 for the Suns. Hollands is there again at the drop to take it. Hand pass it to Hewitt, who flicks it across to Haynes in the right forward pocket. Kicks the ball towards Evans. Just a mark. Took it down low. Might get out of danger here, the Blues, as Evans holds on to it. Still in the defensive 50 for Carlton. Using the city side wing of Dockland Stadium under the roof. He kicks it towards Cripps, who marks and wants to play on quickly. Hand passes it across to White, who just chips it forward. Motlop has it, and then it's a 1-2 to get it back to White. He'll chip the kick inside 50. There's Suns everywhere. Mackay was the only Blue. Got a couple of hands, but the Suns have all the numbers back. And will be able to work this out of their defensive 50. Fiorini has it in the right back pocket, and he can move it across to Jeffries.
Stiff, not getting the free kick then. Under the rules of engagement of grabbing hold of the arm.
Up the wing, clears Carroll, taken by Ethan Reid, inside 50. Farah set himself, can't take the mark against Haynes, and Ollie Hollands clears it for the Blues. Kicks up towards Will White, tangling with Noble. Noble slides his way to the front, stripped of it in the tackle. The Suns have the numbers though. Holman got it to Davies. His kick is partially smothered by Motlop. Trickles up towards half forward. Haynes tries to clear it for his fellow defenders, but Rao gathers, shovels a hand pass forward, only as far as Hollands of the Blues. Carroll a little loose with his hand pass as well, and here's a chance for the Blues to try and clear it from half back.
They're going to have to hold this ball up because they've got nothing ahead. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Gold Coast players to 2.
Zach Williams takes the mark from Flynn Young, and now into the middle of the crowd. Flynn Young's going to get back on the end of it. Just at the edge of the centre square though, as the Suns have pushed a number of players back. So a patient build up here. As he chips it to Francis Evans. He has 3 goals, but he's a long way out from home.
Francis Evans, 55 metres out, puts it into that hot spot again. He's looking for Mackay. He's got Suns all around him. And it's Adams this time who has the ball for the Suns, and he's taken to the turf by Motlop for a ball up, though, about 15 metres out from Carlton's goal. So still in the prime position to score. Whitson Mackay tussling the ruck, comes out to Cripps, hand pass to Akers, juggling it, couldn't hold on to it. Miller comes in, has the footy, and Akers tackles him to the ground.
There's the big difference between the two sides, Boomer. The outside of the quality, it's the workload.
Yep.
Gold Coast smothered that 50-metre area.
And here's Anderson. He takes the footy from the ball up, hand passes it back to Adams, who just shoves the ball on his boot. He'll get past Humphrey. Might work for the Suns in the end. It'll be a stoppage as King's wrapped up, and there'll just be a ball up about right half back for the Suns. They're leading by 45 points. 22 minutes have gone in the third term.
Half-time at the Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide leading by 2 points over the Dockers. Suns by 45 here at Docklands. Fiorini tries to get a hand pass out to Davies. Tackled, dispossessed. Good chase by Cooper Lord, who wins the free kick for the Blues, just short of centre-half forward.
He had players free going backwards in slow motion, and you pay a penalty.
They've only had 25 inside 50s for the match, so kicks out laterally and spots Flynn Young, who pushes inside 50 with a tough shot deep in the left forward pocket, 45 metres out from goal, about 15 metres in from the boundary.
So this ball could be relayed to the other side of the ground. So it goes to Sard, who's free, and Sard just unloads to where the umpire is on the far side of the ground. You open it up, but you've got to move that ball quickly.
The Suns by effect have had 43 inside 50s to the Blues 26. Flynn Young starts his approach and veers out to the left. He does put it towards the hot spot, looking for a flyer, and in the pack O'Keefe has taken the mark. Harry Mackay there alongside him, but it was the big arms outstretched up above his head of Hudson O'Keefe at 202 centimetres.
Yeah, very good mark. Really safe hands there.
Which just got pushed under the ball, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Kicked his first goal in AFL footy earlier. He steps out, opens the angle, and can't add to that. Across the face of goal, trying to snap on the left, a minor score. The Suns by 44 points. Lex Pesher on the boundary.
It is Will White who's come off for Carlton. I'm assuming that is tactical.
Thanks, Lex. So Corey Durden on, Will White off for the Blues as they make their sub. John Noble kicks it out towards a pack where Humphreys takes it, and then he's tackled. So it'll be a ball up about half forward for the Blues. Whitson O'Keefe tangle, and then it's a chase after it to pick up the footy. Fogarty was there first, couldn't pick it up cleanly. Humphrey's been lurking, can take the ball, hand pass it across to Witts, who's got the run of Davies right next to him. And Davies in some space on centre wing, puts the kick towards Reid. Just let it fly back, and it's Lewis Young who can intercept for the Blues and chips it out towards Hewitt at left half back.
Peeled off Ben King. Louis Young and made the right call. Carroll, hand pass to Haynes. The Blues around the broadcast wing to Patrick Cripps. He takes the mark. In two minds whether to kick or hand pass. He hand passes it to Haynes, who drives it into the pocket. Harry Mackay against two, and Sam Collins in front.
It's not the kick you want. It's not the kick.
Well, it's not the hand pass you want.
Yeah, it shouldn't have. It shouldn't have happened. He should have been the one that kicked the ball inside. All he done was made the ball live. Yep. And then he had to kick it. He had no choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Back Andrew at the back. Sam Collins at the front. They combined here, and Collins out of defence. Sends it up to the wing, and it's spoiled by Jacob Wiedering out of play and a boundary throw in. The Suns 12-11-83 to the Blues 6-3-39. The Suns by 44 points. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden calling the action. Lex Pesher down the boundary. Our record breakers, Mick Moldhouse and Boomer Harvey, your experts. Lex Pesher on the boundary.
Bit of a watch on Ollie Hollins. He's doing a bit out there. He's on the bench at the moment, but that eye, I think he got knocked before. It seems to be giving him a fair bit of grief.
Thanks, Lex. He's been pretty prolific in this term so far for the Blues as Cripps kicks it inside 50. It's towards Flynn Young, who tapped it and then lost track of the ball, and everyone dives on top of the ball for a stoppage. Jeffrey at the bottom of the pack hands the ball back to the umpire.
Mick, we mentioned before the forward handball for Gold Coast. Carlton just gets sucked in going to the ball, and they get an easy one out the back every single time.
Rao across to Yule and hand pass towards Anderson, who kicks it right down the middle of Docklands, inside 50, looking for King. Tried to work his way to the footy, couldn't mark, drops down to Long, he'll snap, and it's across the face of goal. So Long can't add to the three he's got tonight. It's just a minor score, but they continue to look dangerous, the Suns. 12-11-83, 84 rather, Carlton 6-3-39.
Carroll brings the Blues back into play in two minds. Eventually spots Nick Haynes free. Against the boundary line, he takes the mark at left half-back. Over the top to Akers. So the Blues have got to half-back, but this is where they found it troublesome, trying to find the right avenue. Wiedering's gesturing in the defensive 50 to try and switch.
They went lateral.
It's on. Have a look.
Oh, they had the whole paddock open to them.
Akers long down the line. Presenting was Hudson O'Keefe. Can't take the mark. Corey Durden, the sub, providing good pressure and wins the footy for the Blues. Hand pass away to Hewitt. Now the switch is on. Hand pass to Sard. Out to Ollie Hollands, who takes the mark. So position number 9 coming up for him in this quarter as he draws an opponent. Hand pass around Buttering to Carroll, who swings back onto his left. Centering ball for De Koning. Got it to centre half forward, but it's so slow. The kick inside 50. Cripps the target, getting back. Jared Witts.
You're spot on, Clinchy, because you mentioned the word slow there. When you switch the ball, you want to be able to go. Carlton switched, got held up, turn, go. Guess what? The ruckman had enough time, Jared Witt, to get down the line and take a mark.
Cripps is having one of those nights. He gave away the free kick against Fiorini, who sends it up to the wing.
Towards Humphrey, who just hacks the kick as he's lying on the ground. Hollins is there to collect for the Blues. Hand pass to Sard, very close in front of the Gold Coast bench. Curls it down to left half forward, looking for a mark from O'Keefe. Can't be taken, and it's just pushed over the boundary line for a throw in about half forward for the Blues.
I'm very impressed in the way Gold Coast shuffle across the ground as well. So if you are slow, they'll shuffle across in front of you, get the ball across, and all of a sudden you're looking in another wall of players. You bring the ball back. There's another. So the only way you can defeat that is by speed.
Yep.
So Blues edging closer to goals. Gold Coast leading by 45 points in the third term. Cripps chasing after the throw-in. Humphrey gets there first. Couldn't take it, though. Hollins has barged in there for the Blues. Can take it. Does well. Hand pass across to Williams, who we kicking it inside forward 50. And it is easily chopped off by Ewlands, who just chimed in, jumping in front, and intercepts the footy and stops the ball from going any further as the Suns lead by 45.
Newland with a clearing kick up towards Humphreys. He thought he was taken around the shoulders by Cowan, who makes the spoil, and the ball goes out of play. So the Suns by 45 points here at Docklands. At the Adelaide Oval, it's Port Adelaide who lead by 2 points. They booted 8 goals in the second quarter to wrestle back the lead after being goalless in the opening quarter. There is an ABC call available on the ABC Listen app. Just click on the AFL Extra button. De Koning takes out of the ruck. Hand pass forward, looking for Flynn Young. They try and appeal. It came off the boot of John Noble, and the umpire says throw it in.
Mick, I'll tell you what the Gold Coast Suns do. When the ball travels more than 30 or 40 metres and it's a long kick and it's in the air for 5-6 seconds, they never leave their defender one out. There's always someone, a third man, coming over the top to help defend.
Yep, totally agree. They're well drilled. They're prepared to work hard.
And what you can hear is a free kick to Ralph for being taken high. So he gets the free at right half back for the Suns. They're leading by 45 points. They got out to as much as 48 points at the 12-minute mark of this quarter. And Evans' goal just cut it back. So it's about 40, or it is 45 points late in this third term. As the kick comes down and pushed over the boundary line, about centre wing, there'll be a throw-in. So Witts makes his way back to the ruck position in his 200th game against De Koning. They stand a few metres apart from each other and then run to contest the ball in. Witts had front position, tapped it down. Cripps tried to go for a secondary tap, couldn't take it. Rowell doing his best on the turf as he does to try and extract the ball. None of them can. And it's a ball up right at centre wing. The Suns leading by 45 points as we head towards the final change.
Thrown up. Witts wins down the tap. Rowell can't gather. Anderson can, though. That's the problem. If you're playing the Suns, the 1-2 punch up towards half forward. Haynes knocks it down to Cowan for the Blues. Hard against the boundary line. Haynes kicks up towards half forward. O'Keefe caught behind, and Collins juggles the mark. He plays on, sends a barrel up inside 50 where Louis Young marks on his chest. And that'll see us to three-quarter time at Docklands. The Suns leading by 45 points after 4-1 in that third quarter. The way of the visiting side. 12-12-84 to the Blues, 6-3-39. After the Gold Coast Suns led by 15 points at quarter time and by 24 points at half time. It's a 45-point advantage. 4 goals to Ben King. He managed just 1 in that third quarter, while Ben Long has 3 goals for the Suns. Individuals to Fiorini, Ainsworth and Witts, while for the Blues, 3 goals to Francis Evans. Individuals to Fogarty, Mackay and O'Keefe. Three-quarter time at Docklands. The Suns leading by 45 points. It's fair to say the Blues fans are starting to get a bit frustrated. 0437 774 774. Robin Greensborough. Nick Haynes has had at least 3 forward 50 entries, and every single one has gone to an opponent. And Ulster listening from Germany, Boomer and Mick is getting you loud and clear on the ABC Listen app. I'm a lifelong Carlton fan. The last few decades have been quite frustrating. I was feeling optimistic, but now I'm looking for some positivity. Is it just grey clouds in the distance? 0437 774 774. Your SMSs from throughout the night. The match taking place here at Docklands or at the Adelaide Oval, where the Dockers have got a bit of work to do in the second half. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
The summer of cricket has arrived early.
Lobs it straight down the ground for 6. He's on the pull shot. Boy, did he get that.
White ball cricket takes centre stage in the top end as Australia take on South Africa.
Shout for leg before. Finger goes up.
And it's on now on the ABC Listen.
Down the pitch. There we go. Bang.
Every ball live. Just click on the cricket button. This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Got away by De Koning. It goes straight into the hands of Fiorini though. Crumbs puts it through the middle, and it's a very early opening term goal for the Suns. Just 40 seconds and they're on the board in the third term. Braden Fiorini with his first tonight brought out towards Rowell, who has the footy, and he just barges away in the pack, takes a bounce and then darts the kick inside 50. King's there. He's got some space on Wiedering and he marks. Where will kick from directly in front of goals, about 40 metres out. Sails this one over the goal umpire's head. And that is a high five for Ben King tonight.
And Rowell gets a free kick and breaks away. He runs away from Paddy Cripson. Jumping to the back of his jumper, he breaks away. Kicks inside 50. Here's Ben Long. Worked his way to the front and takes the mark. And a few of the Suns players are keen to let Lewis Young know about it.
50 metres.
He'll put through
his third
from the top of the goal square. It's all unravelling for Carlton at the moment. Rowell look away half past Powell. A free kick for a hold off the ball. And it's going Carlton's way. You can hear the Bronx cheers here. And Francis Evans is going to get the free kick and a shot on goal from the left forward pocket. The Suns have booted the last 5. From just inside 50, Evans fires. It's a good kick. And he sends it straight through the middle. Something for Carlton fans to savour.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Three-quarter time from Docklands in Melbourne. Great to have your company on a Saturday night on ABC Sport. The Suns heading towards a big win. They lead by 45 points at three-quarter time. 12-12-84 to the Blues, 6-3-39. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden calling the action. Lex Pesce is down on the boundary. The thoughts of our experts, Brent Harvey and Mick Moldhouse.
Yeah, it's really hard to find some real. Well, I don't want to be negative. I don't want to sound nasty, but it's just there was no system to Carlton. I mean, they had 12 inside 50s, but only kicked the one goal. 30 inside 50s to 46. Gold Coast and Mick, you called it. They are just working harder, and sometimes football we can overcomplicate things and we can look for things that are not there. Gold Coast are working super hard, and I mentioned when the ball's a long kick and it's in the air for 5 or 6 seconds, they're never one out.
No.
Collins has been sensational tonight, I think, but he's never one out. He's always got a third man coming up, or he's the third man over the top. The ball hits the deck and they're able to transition. The other thing that I'm really impressed with Gold Coast, and Collingwood did it last year and the year before, and I think they're still doing it. Richmond used to do it, and it's Damien Hardwick's thing, I would think, is that forward handball. Carlton are getting sucked into the inner ring, and Gold Coast are getting it forward into the outer ring, and they're literally clear. We called it where Rao was running, bouncing. He could kick the ball anywhere he wanted.
Yep.
That's why King marked the football. It's hard to defend. So, yeah, I don't want to be too negative towards Carlton because I just think West Coast are outworking them.
Well, I use you as an example as far as a midfielder getting back. I often hear midfielders say, if you want an easy kick, go in the back line because, one is rarely there's your forward midfielder, your midfielder go with you. I remember we used to kick off. Remember?
Yep.
and used to play on. Used to drive me absolutely nuts. I actually put 2 players on the square.
Yeah, right.
You remember that?
Well, that was...
That forced you then to have to kick it.
Kick the ball, yeah. Well, that was a Dennis Pagan thing. He wanted me to run and get
That's
a
right.
1-2, so he thought if I kicked out, could kick it short and could get it back, and made me run. And it certainly did. It helped my game so much.
But it opens up, doesn't it? On
Yeah,
the
it
back
does.
line. So I look at Gold Coast now. Their mids they get back, whereas I just don't reckon the Carlton mids get anywhere near, and inclusive of their ruckman.
Yep.
So you've got to outnumber. My whole thing to my players used to be, if I take a photograph of a 10 metre circle or a square, and we outnumber them, we've got a chance of winning it. If you're not outnumbering them, they're going to win that contest.
Carlton are going a little bit blind, Mick. When they go in there, some of them are not impacting. Their players are staying out. That's why they're getting beaten in that second ring.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shots in the crowd at three-quarter time. David Boone in attendance wearing a Carlton scarf tonight. As the Blues get the first clearance here. A kick up towards half forward from Zach Williams. Mackay, hand pass forward to Cripps, to Motlop off balance. He fires towards goal and misses everything.
He had more time.
Off balance, deep in the right forward pocket. The boundary umpire and the goal umpire are just converging to try and work out whether it went over the top of the behind post and was in for a behind.
These are our favourite reviews, aren't they?
Oh, look, you got someone on the line. You've got a goal umpire there. Just call it. You're not going to win or lose the game, and it's not going to be a percentage where they finish.
Now these are the ones where Greg Swan is on notice. We had a result within about 25 seconds on Thursday night. So how quick? The soft call is no score, out of bounds on the full.
How are they going to do
You
this?
cannot tell that.
How can you tell if that's
It's
going
30
over the
metres
post?
above the... Well, it's not 30 metres, but it's a long way above the behind post.
Looking at these angles, we see the ball crosses the line on the boundary side of the post.
You know, it doesn't
Decision
help
on the
when you try
scoreboard.
to zoom the camera in to find the footy.
It's
Just what the
moving.
ARC reviewer is trying to do here, just to try and work out exactly where it is, because there's a sponsor's logo with the LED screen on the third tier.
Well,
It makes it almost impossible.
And Clinchy, they don't want to show the top stand. There's got no one in it.
It's funny, we want to quicken the game up, but we do this, and that just held us up for 40 seconds.
Yep.
And every other rule is to make our game quicker.
It's the very start of the term too. You want the teams to come out firing. It kind of stalls that little bit of momentum as well as the kick comes out. Butterick grabs it for the Suns. Hand pass towards Long, keeps it in and just puts it into some space along the wing. Hollins has been good for the Blues all day. Takes it, hand passes it across to Williams, who puts it down the line. He kicks towards Cripps, who's at the front of the pack. Just can't plunk it at the last second. Mackay should have been there to help. He can't grab it. In the end, he goes after Rao. Probably took him high. Umpire says play on. Witz will take it. Hand pass it to Fiorini. He kicks it and it's a turnover. Sard takes it in a 1-2 with Haynes. Gets it across to Williams. He'll kick it to centre wing again for the Blues. It's hard going for them to get it any further forward than this point as Davies comes in, tries to affect it for the Suns. Hand pass to Anderson. He's taken and tackled by Cripps and it will be a stoppage. Mick, you mentioned the crowd. I know it's the start of the last quarter. There might be people getting back to their seats, but it does look like it's thinned out since three-quarter time, to be honest. So the Suns ahead by 45 points, and the Blues haven't won since round 19, and they've only won one in the last 6 coming into tonight.
I thought it thinned out before the game started.
Of course, the news during the week that the Carlton board had backed in Michael Voss for 2026. 45-point margin at three-quarter time. Witz wins down the tap against De Koning. Rao has been red hot after half-time, but a throw there. So the Carlton fans feel like finally a bit of justice there. No ham involved in that handball.
I talk about smart footballers all the time, and Matt Carroll has just let that ball bounce because he thought he didn't know whose ball it was. He's just cost his team 10 seconds. That's only little things, but these are what smart footballers do.
Lord takes the free kick. He telegraphs it into the pocket for Harry Mackay. 3 Suns defenders. They bring it down. Haynes' hand pass to Mackay. His hand pass chopped off. Spills away from Powell. Kept alive by Motlop. To Durden, who turns and kicks to goal and hits it in the bottom of the right goal post.
It's stiff.
Almost was able to give Blues fans something to build on in this final term. A behind to start the final term. 44 points as the Gold Coast Suns lead.
And it's a turnover from the kick and allows the Blues in as the chip comes across from Akers towards Mackay, who marks. And this will be a set shot for Mackay from 45-degree angle, but very close towards goals.
That's a great kick by Akers. I watched him here a couple of weeks ago and he kicked everything away from his teammates. That was a fantastic kick. Looked at it, could have had a shot, could have blows away.
Kicked the Blues' first goal of the night, snaps truly. And there's another one for him. And at least it's an early goal to the Blues. And for those who have stayed, they get to celebrate one as well. The Suns lead just cut to 38 points. Mackay's got 2. It's 7-4, 46 Carlton. Gold Coast 12-12, 84. 4 minutes have ticked over in the final term.
Well, I think it's about time that Dimmer pulls the trigger on the sub, surely. They're going to win the game. Give him at least a quarter to run around. Doesn't look like he's even looked like. No one's spoken to him at the minute on the bench.
He's an interesting player, Malcolm Roses, because
lots of energy.
He signed till 2025, an NT product. Lex Pesher on the boundary.
I don't think I've seen him do one warm-up run yet.
That's never a good sign.
Not looking likely.
He needs to actually take some initiative, jump up there and do some star jumps so the coach can see him or something.
You see some subs who are they're up and about every 5 minutes on the quarter, just making sure they're running along and getting warm, showing everyone they're there.
Back in the middle of the ground, Koning got it to Cripps. His hand pass chopped off by Rao, who tried to get a hand pass forward, but Sard pinches it back for the Blues. Hand pass to Williams, drives him inside 50. Evans in a wrestle with McAndrew. Pulls in the one-handed mark.
Well done. Really well done.
Mighty effort by the little man. In a show of strength, McAndrew had his back to the ball, thinking the ball was going to go over his head towards O'Keefe. And Evans reeled in the mark.
I talk about forward craft a lot. Now, that is protecting the ball drop, the zone where the ball's going to drop, and he's on a pretty good player in McAndrew. That's he's kicked 3 goals for the night. Gee, I hope he goes back and finishes this, because this will be a really good night for a small forward.
3 goals from 9 disposals. A chance to make that 4. And in what has been a bit of a dirty night for the Blues, give them something to stand up and applaud. Francis Evans, who after 7 games in 3 years for the Cats, getting his chance after 2 years at Port Adelaide, is certainly not giving up on the dream. And 4 goals tonight. He has been a shining light for the Blues fans as the margin is back to 32 points, and he gets the applause as he heads to the bench. Carlton 8-4, 52 to the Suns 12-12, 84. Mick Malthouse and Brent Harvey with you on ABC Sport.
Well, they've controlled the ball so far this quarter. The Gold Coast Suns have, they're probably, I suspect that in their mind they're going, well, we know where we sit, but nonetheless, you're coming into finals football, you want form all the way through. You don't want to be trying to pick it up on a piecemeal situation.
No, they've started well, the Blues, the first 2 goals of the quarter, and as I mentioned, that was really crafty by Evans.
Suns yet to score as well this quarter, so all 3 scores, 2 goals and a behind, have come the way of the Blues, as from the middle, DeConing's chasing after it, hand passes it away. It's picked up by Lord, who has the ball. It's another inside 50 here for the Suns. Just goes past Flynn Young and allows Collins a chance to grab the footy and hand pass it away towards Yulin. Might have been taken high by Williams. Umpire says play on. Hand pass to Motlop. Another goal for the Blues. They got one on the rebound there. Picked off the footy. And it's Motlop with a goal. That is 3 in a row this quarter and 4 in a row as Evans kicked the last goal of the 3rd term. The margin is cut back to 26 points. It's the Suns 12-12, 84 and the Blues 9-4, 58. 7.5 minutes played in the final quarter. Still plenty to go, but the Blues with an impressive start to it.
Clearing the ball out of the centre.
It is. It's simple football again. But my question is why? Why are we waiting to the last quarter of games to see Carlton take it on a little bit more? I called a Carlton game not too long ago. It was exactly the same thing. I waited 3 quarters for them to be 8 goals behind and then throw caution to the wind and get within three goals. It's quite bizarre.
Yeah.
I hope a few of our Blues fans, like Don, have taken the radio if they went to bed early, because they're mounting a charge here. DeConing wins down the tap to Hewitt, trying to break the Humphreys tackle. Gets it away to Lord. Sends them inside 50 once more. So 4 inside 50s to start the quarter. Moyer gathers, trying to break around Adams, and he's pushed across the boundary line for a throw-in.
TDK's decided to jump.
Yeah.
Jumping all over Wits at the minute.
Yep. And he can jump. He's a serious athlete.
It is a different-looking Carlton to start this final term. As it's thrown back in, Witts wins down the tap against DeConing. Spills out into the path of Lord. Squeeze the kick inside 50. Was Motlop held by McAndrew? It doesn't matter. Moyer gathers and fires on goal, and he misses to the left-hand side. 25 points is the Gold Coast Suns lead, who just can't get their hands on the footy all of a sudden.
Should have finished that. He had a lot of time. It was really clean pick-up. Looked like he was going to dominate and kick the goal, but unfortunately for the Blues fans, just missed.
Noble quickly gets the footy outside of defensive 50 to Andrew, who just chips it out towards Weller. He'll go right down the attacking the wing, the outer side of the ground towards Ainsworth, who'll kick the ball inside 50. One bounce in the pocket and out of bounds. Directly inside 50 for the Suns, where they'll have a throw in the right forward pocket.
Too easy from kick-off. Carlton trailed all the way through there. They were very lucky there was a poor kick in the end.
Ball is tossed in. De Koning and Witts are in the ruck. It comes down to Anderson. He's tackled. Miller's on the turf trying to pick up the footy. Everyone dives on top of it. And then the umpire will have to separate everything and ball it up right at the top of the 50 for the Suns. They've got a 25-point lead, but it has been the last 4 goals the way of the Blues.
Blues are the last 3 goals of the match. Last time they did that was in the opening quarter. As Zach Williams takes it off the ruck and sends it out towards the boundary line in front of O'Keefe and Collins, and it's called deliberate.
Yeah, had half a second to get rid of the football. He's kicked it as far and as high as he possibly could.
And it went within a metre of...
The Carlton player was thereabouts, and it's still deliberate.
So it really is a last touch rule now. As Collins sends it forward to Toot Miller. Suns will be happy to just control the tempo for a few moments. Kicks inboard to Powell. And he takes the mark between wing and half forward on the City side. He looks up, kicks into the man on the mark. It ricochets off Fogarty. Chance for the Blues. Lord, hand pass to Zach Williams. His hand pass turned over. Ainsworth cleverly knocked it on to the path of Ben Long. Hand pass to Noble, to Yulin at the top of the goal, centre square. Sends it out towards the pocket. Up went Buttering.
He's going the other way.
Paid it against the Suns, and De Koning takes the advantage. They're out of defence. Up to Flynn Young on the wing.
Flynn Young just hacks the kick away. It comes off the wrong side of his boot.
Now, if that had been 20 metres back further, it would have been deemed deliberate. It was just a shocking kick.
Yes,
happens.
There we go. Luckily, we've got the right decision here. It will be a throw-in. So Adams wanted to take it for the Gold Coast. They've realised it's just a skill error, so it'll be a throw-in. Lex Pesce on the boundary.
Boomer, Malcolm Roses, I reckon, is about to be subbed into the action. I don't know who for, but he's warming up like I've never seen before.
Good.
Thanks, Lex. So ball tossed in. It'll be a holding free kick in the ruck. And it'll be Jared Witts. Jared Witts has won a few free kicks in the ruck throughout the night, and he just chips it across to John Noble.
Oh, that's not 15 metres. Umpire, that's gone 8.
So Noble takes it. This one definitely goes 15. In fact, it goes about 50. And the umpire's found the holding free kick this time, going the way of the Blues. And Jacob Wiedering will have it. Hand passes across to Ollie Hollins, who has to go back to Wiedering. He's got the footy right half back and will go long. Cripps is there and he gets the footy and marks. Hand passes it away towards Evans, who puts the kick inside 50. It's a good one in the end, and Ashton Moyer marks it. Forward pocket, and that was a nice kick.
Beautiful kick,
he's had a really quiet day. He's a good player, this kid. I think up until three-quarter time he had 1 kick, so I think this might be his 2nd or 3rd kick for the quarter. But he's a serious player, but just got to learn the tempo's got to be kept up all the time.
So he did kick those 4 goals in the win against Melbourne, which was almost when he put his name on the map. He puts this one towards goal. And Carlton have 5 in a row. And they have brought this margin back down to 19 points. It was 45 at the end of the 3rd term. It is down to 19 points. Carlton 10-5-65. Gold Coast 12-12, 84. 12 minutes are played in the final term before the thoughts of Mick Malthouse and Boomer Harvey. Lex Pesce on the boundary.
So it is Nick Holman who's been subbed out for the Suns. It is tactical, so Malcolm Roses is now into the actions.
Well, that was a fantastic kick by Evans, wasn't it? He's becoming Carlton's most important player right now. He's kicked 4 goals, and that kick inside 50, Mick, that was a 40-metre dart that didn't go any higher than the head of any player on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a beautiful kick and found Moyer. It was close to the boundary, and Gold Coast probably defended like that, but fantastic finish as well.
He's been around the traps for a few years. It just never found his feet. This has been his best game by far in his career, I'd say.
And his 3rd club, Francis Evans, he has lifted the Blues, and the margin is just 19 points. Had it a long time. Bailey, who was tackled, dispossessed. It spills out to Rao. Motlop comes charging in with a bone-rattling tackle, but then his 2nd effort is high against Bodie Yulin, who, in fact, he'll take the free kick on the outer wing. So Carlton, who booted 6 goals to three-quarter time, all of a sudden have kicked 4 goals in 12 minutes to completely change the trajectory of this match. The kick is a turnover from Yule, and guess who? Francis Evans up towards Moyer. Another bullet. It bounces off his chest. Motlop swoops onto it, breaks the tackle, into the pocket, centering ball for Fogarty down low.
Whoa!
Who lunges to take the mark in the left forward pocket.
And they're starting to panic, Gold Coast. Try to kick that ball to a one-on-one, and when they could have gone forward with it, they are in panic mode at the moment.
Opens up the angle. Fogarty around his body. He misses to the right-hand side. He had a similar opportunity in the third quarter and couldn't take it. At that stage, the margin was 30 points the Suns' way. They got out by 48 points. And then all of a sudden, the last 5 goals have gone the way of the Blues. It's an 18-point game.
That is a huge miss. And don't forget, he missed one up the other end of the ground, 15 metres out as well. Hopefully it's not costly for the Blues, but that is a big miss because they got so much momentum. That would have brought the house down.
Joel Jeffrey was undecided with where to put that kick coming out of defence as well. He, in the end, went to Powell, but it'll be a turnover here almost. So Cowan had the footy. His kick then was smothered by Powell. He's got it for the Suns. Sard with some intense steals it back and hand passes it to Hollins. He's taking the tackle. Hand passes it back to Sard. There's a throw in all that. Free kick going the way of the Suns.
He missed the first option. He had one to give.
Didn't he?
Forward handball. They could have gone 4 metres and the Carlton player would have had no pressure on him. Another kick inside 50. He didn't want to take the easy option, unfortunately.
Bailey Humphrey sends it inside 50, just the 4th time this quarter. As Ben King comes charging out, Ethan Reid was there, and Louis Young in the end happy to see it out of play. A boundary throw in the right forward pocket for the Suns. Lex Pesher on the boundary.
The intensity from the Carlton fans has just hit another level down here.
So Nick Holman subbed out. Malcolm Roses coming in. Will White was subbed out in the third quarter. Corey Durden into the action. Blues have come charging home. Haynes with a clearing kick from the back pocket for the Blues. Running up to Fogarty. Hand pass to Cripps through the middle of the ground to Evans. Hand pass out in front of Sard. He bursts away from Rao. Dodging and weaving. Kicks a high ball up towards half forward. Flynn Young presents. Brought it down against Buttery. Ball at ground level. Moyer tried to scoop it up. Overran the footy. Spills out the way of Carroll. Can't take it. Buttery's little soccering forward. Taken by Fogarty. Hand pass to Lord. Hand pass over his shoulder to Carroll. They link it up with Motlop, who kicks towards the goal mouth, and it trickles through from behind.
They're moving the ball quicker than they've moved it for the whole match, and the resistance from the Gold Coast has been nil.
And this is my question of why, Mick. Why can't they play like this in the first quarter? And like a boxer, don't wait to see who throws the first punch. You throw the first punch. Yeah. Can you maintain that for 4 quarters? Probably not. But let's not have the game out of reach. Let's be in the game at quarter time, half time.
What's the old saying? Bank early?
Yeah, absolutely. You can defend better.
Shop early.
Yep, shop early.
Well, the Suns work it down the city wing, and in the end, it's Francis Evans who just steals the footy from the turf, and from Malcolm Roses, moves it down to Mackay, who puts the kick to the top of the 50, but Adams is there to step back and intercept the mark. Kicks it across to Andrew.
They can't afford Carlton now to think it's just going to happen and rush everything. They've still got to set the play up, which they did in the first 7 or 8 minutes to kick their goals in that last quarter.
You've got to hold your structure forward.
Absolutely
you do. You can't get everyone up and kick over the top and expect to run on and get lucky every time. Still hold your structure.
Chip across to Noble. He kicks it down to a pack. It bounces off Wiedering's chest. Farah has it, and he's taken to the turf for a ball up at centre wing.
At least they've got the man behind the ball freed up. So if they can hold an extra, they'll hold the extra one. And that's what they've got to do, Carlton.
So it's 45 points the margin at three-quarter time. It's now 17 points to the advantage of the Suns after the Blues have kicked the first 4 goals of this term. Of course, here a couple of weeks ago, it was 46 points the margin at three-quarter time when St Kilda came up against Melbourne. So that'd be something, wouldn't it, if we got 2 in about 3 weeks? It's 18 minutes played in the fourth.
So not quite the record, but that would be the last 2 biggest come from behind victories at three-quarter time in VFL, AFL history. As the Blues have had the last 6 scores, including the last 2 behinds. Noah Anderson dribbles a kick for the Suns up the wing. Billy Wilson couldn't take it. Hewitt used his body against Toot Miller. He's a little worse for wear, and the ball is locked underneath them. The Blues 10-7-67, trailing the Suns 12-12-84. So much on the line for the Suns as well to move within striking distance of the top 4. As Witts wins down the tap. Davies trying to wrestle it away. He's tackled by Flynn Young. It was over the shoulder. Free kick going the way of the Suns on the wing.
That's what they need. The Gold Coast is a settler now. They need to structure this goal up Carlton have got the enthusiasm. If the Gold Coast can get 2 or 3 possessions in a row, they will probably halt. That's not going to happen with that kick.
Davies just goes long towards the top of the 50, and it's punched away by Wiedering. And it'll be a throw-in at the top of the 50 for the Suns. They haven't scored a goal since the 12-minute mark of the third quarter.
Carlton just need to find a way to get the next goal. If they get the next goal, they're playing with all the momentum. Fogarty's missed one. Motlop missed one. They just need to find a way now.
Ball is just tossed in at the top of the 50. Witts palms it down towards Rao, kicks it towards King, who pushes it down to Mel Roses, who curls the footy on his left. It's just to the near side. So a behind for the Suns. That means it's 18 points to margin. 3 straight kicks. 12-13-85 the Suns. Carlton 10-7-67. About to click into time on in the last term.
9 of the last 11 scores have gone the way of the Blues. Sard brings it back in to Hewitt, back to Sard. They found their run and dash. Kicks up the wing. Akers doesn't have to break stride. Runs away from Fiorini. Squeezes the ball, dribbling it along the turf. Looking for Moyer, who got surely Ewan high. No whistle. Play on's the call. Spills out in the end. Dragged down was Flynn Young, and the umpire will give a free kick for the Gold Coast Suns.
Akers more composure there, Mick. Running through, kicks a dribbler on his left foot.
Shocking. But there was a free kick there. Should have been paid to Gold Coast well before this one. You can't.
Holding the ball against Flynn Young, so Collins takes the free kick. Goes short to Yulin.
Carlton are forcing them down the line now, so Gold Coast will kick this one down the line and put out front to spare. Nice kick.
Yulin out to Noble on the wing, who takes the mark and plays on.
He gets distance on his kick. Reed's there if he can rise and take the mark. 2 hands brings it to ground. Humphrey at the drop. Hand passes it away. Miller will take it. And then hand pass it across to Rowell, who's right at the top of the 50 for the Suns. Hand pass back to Davies. Plenty of pressure being put on here by the Blues. It spills out, but Miller still takes it to Fiorini. Kicks inside 50 to the left forward pocket. Long can't take the mark, can still gather. Underground hand pass to Reed. The big man's got to go down low and can't pick it up. It's rushed through for a minor score.
Got to go, the Blues. Got to go now. Don't wait. Well, he wants to give the ball off to Sard or somebody. Just go.
Margin now 19 points, Gold Coast advantage.
Ollie Hollands up to 28 disposals. Matt Rowell with 28 disposals. Career best for Ollie Hollands tonight.
Oh, he's been good, Hollands. Been really, really good. Impressive.
Previous best was 24. Wilson into Fogarty, sends it up the wing to Koning in the pack, rises, brings it down. Fiorini can't take it, Cowan can. Hand pass to Cripps, gets it away to Akers, up towards half forward. Tough bounce for Collins, Mackay onto it, stripped in a tackle by Powell. Play on's the call. Collins follows up with an excellent tackle. Make sure Motlop can't break away. Jesse didn't like the attention. Umpire will ball it up at right half forward. Suns by 19 points.
Blues with the last 5 goals of the game. It's Davies who comes in with the footy for the Suns.
That's dropping the ball. He fended off. He went for the fend off and got caught. That's dropping the ball.
So it's a ball up in the end. Cripps can take it. Hand passes it away to Lord, who gets his way around Davies and just kicks it inside 50. Collins tries to stop it with 2 hands. The bounce is in a tussle for Yuland against Mackay. They're both trying to get it, just leaving the ball between them, and in the end it's wrapped up and the ball is sandwiched between those two. And it'll be a ball up right in the right forward pocket for the Blues. They're down by 19 points, but they have worked their way there from being 45 points down at 3/4 time.
The Fogarty kick's going to come back, isn't it? Because he just needed to dob that.
9-point lead, Port Adelaide over Fremantle, third quarter there. Fiorini looking for the boundary. Runs out of play in the left forward pocket, and the umpire says throw it in. Suns by 19 points. At one stage, it was a 42-point lead. The Suns way in the third quarter. How this match has come to life. Francis Evans has booted 4 goals. He's been the spark to bring the Blues back to life. To Koning, tries to get rid of Witts. He gathers. Hand pass to Evans on cue. Gives the hand pass away. Zach Williams standing start. It's off to the left. And in the end, fails to score out of bounds on the full. So they've had some chances in this final term.
Nick, I actually thought Evans, I know he was facing away from goal, but
could have gone left.
He could have actually gone back to his right, but he forced the ball backwards to someone, had pressure coming on him.
Yep.
Mac Andrew, long kick out towards the wing. At the front was Carroll. Brought the footy down and does well for the Blues. Hand pass across to Cripps. He hand passes it to Evans, of course. Inside 50, little chip kick towards Mackay. It's a mark.
He's got to knock this over. This is where Harry, the Demons, start to to impose themselves here. He
It's
has
not
to
a
go
great
back.
sign when you're asking the umpire for 50, is it?
No.
The ball was knocked out of your hand.
And he definitely can't go back and snap this one around the body because he's going to kick from about 49 out.
Look, if he leans back, it's all over. If he goes forward with the kick, he's such a thumping, beautiful kick generally.
So here comes Harry Mackay. The game could depend on this one. And there's the roar. These Blues are on the march back. And Harry Mackay slots his third. And the Suns' lead is cut back to 13 points. The Blues keep pressing, and it's now the Blues 11-7-73, the Suns 12-14-86. 24 minutes played in the final term. Still plenty of time left for the Blues.
Nick, it's funny with his kick there because he knows there's not a lot of time left, so he has to go back and do it. There was no set shot routine, and he kicked it more like a field kick.
Yes, he did.
And it went straight through the middle. Didn't look like missing. It was a beautiful kick.
He aimed for the, around the ground, you aim for a player. You just aim for the goal umpire's hat.
Yep.
And
guess
guess
that's
what?
what he done.
Yeah.
There was no go back, long run up. There was no routine.
Didn't have to think about it. You're spot on there, Boom. It's just, it doesn't play funny games in mind.
So much on the line. The Suns a chance to jump to fifth. There'll be a game off top spot. Blues and they're wrestling in the bottom of the 8. Rao locked up in the middle of the ground as he tries to burst away. Carlton are within 13 points. The Suns need some control. Witts wins down the tap. Lord dribbles a kick clear for the Blues. Noble can't gather. Flynn Young knocked it on. Hewitt tries to get a hand pass to half forward. Ricochets off Buttery. Back to Hewitt. Squeezing kick by Haynes. Knocked on by Zach Williams. Moyer can't gather. Toot Miller for the Suns. Can't clear it. Was he dragged down the opponent there? Is charging through Hewitt. In fact, it was Corey Durnan, but there's no whistle. And the umpire will ball it up 45 metres up from Carlton's goal. The Suns by 13.
Playing a little bit of surge football now, Carlton. Very similar to Gold Coast in the first half. Just to get the ball going forward, whether it's a foot to the ball, a knock on, just get the ball going forward.
This time it'll be tossed up 48 metres from Carlton's goal. Noble barges in, just gets a little hand pass away. He's got to chase after this. He almost goes for a second effort to Jeffrey just gets it to him. And he's got to kick the footy down the wing for the Suns. Farrell was worked off it by Wiedering. No free kick. Umpire says play on. Picked up by Cowan. He'll go back inside 50 for the Blues here. I hope one of his teammates can run onto it. In the end, it's Collins who gets there for the Suns. Hand pass to Andrew. Knocked off it as he's kicking. The kick will come outside of attacking 50. Akers will do well to get his way to the ball. Gets there, is being tackled, just tries to move the footy away. Then Fiorini comes in for the Suns. He is tackled to the turf by Wilson. And this is where we'll have a ball up, 55 metres outside from the Blues goal. They're 13 points behind the Suns. 26 minutes have been played in this final term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Zakoning bounces into Witts, wins down the tap. Hewitt can't get a clean hand pass away. Rao goes to work, wins it back for the Suns. Julian, almost too slow, just got a hand pass away as Durden made the tackle. Noble kicks it up the wing. The mark is taken by Malcolm Rose as the sum into the action at right half back. The Suns by 13 points. As he looks up to half forward, tries to pinpoint a pass up towards Ben Long at cleared side, who was playing in front. Long into the pocket. Ben King's got forward. He has space and Louis Young can't get back. Hard against the boundary in the right forward pocket. The Suns did well to run it from half back all the way around the boundary line into the forward pocket. And now the hands in the man who has kicked 5 tonight from 7 disposals.
He's generally a beautiful kick too. For a tall man, he gets that the arm, he drops the ball very close to his boot.
He's lining up for a drop punt in the right forward pocket alongside the boundary. He's only about 30 metres out, but on a tight angle. Ben King for goal number 6 and to restore some order for the Gold Coast Suns. He is cool, calm and composed as he delivers a hammer blow to the Blues' late comeback. The Suns steady. They lead by 19 points at the 28-minute mark of the final term. 13-14-92 to Carlton 11-7-73. That's what you want from your spearhead, to take the moment and make it his own.
Very impressive.
Yeah, he's a star. He's a star, but unfortunately then the Carlton defenders had no choice. They were pressing the ground. They're trying to win the game. You've got to be more aggressive, and they did that. Young was coming back and he just had no chance of stopping King, who sits at 202 centimetres or whatever he is. He's a star. You mentioned how good his kick is. quite close to the boundary there, Mick.
Yeah.
Wrong side, really, for a right footer, and slotted that one.
So
just needed that the goal.
He's just gone 6 straight, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he's 6 straight.
It's a good effort.
No, it's the winning effort, really.
6 straight equals his career best.
The Blues had 6 goals before that consecutively until the Suns broke that and pushed the margin back out to 19 points. Witz hand passes it to Davies and he has 3 Blues wrap him up for a ball up inside the centre square at Docklands. They fought back, the Blues, but that King goal probably puts it beyond reach now. They'll keep fighting as Weller takes it. He's tackled. Hand passes it away. Humphrey's there to collect and will just put the kick as far away from him as possible. It'll bounce a couple of times. Side forward 50 for the Suns. It'll just be kept in by Lewis Young, who's tackled by King, ducks his head, and it's holding the footy.
Great decision, because he ducked his head.
Too right.
He ducked his head. It was too high. His arm was around his neck, but he ducked his head. So you don't see them ones played too often. I like that rule. If you duck your head and you get caught with it, it's dropping the ball because it's dangerous.
Very good decision.
So Ben King now gets the free, and he's kicking. Well, he's starting his run up from the advertising hoardings, right next to the photographers on the turf.
This will be a great kick. This is where the junction is, where the 50 metre meets the boundary. He'll be kicking right on the point.
So he susses out the angles and the kick he's going to make, and slowly takes his kick towards goal. It's across the face. It'll still stay in play. It's punched over for a rush behind.
He still kicked 6 straight, Mick. That doesn't count for him.
Yes. Yeah, indeed.
13-15-93 the Suns, 11-7-73 the Blues, 20 points the Gold Coast Suns advantage.
As the Blues try to move it quickly, it's a turnover though. And Toot Miller takes intercepting mark from the Ola Hollands kick into the pocket out wide. They're milking the clock well now, and Farah takes the mark just inside 50 out to the right, and he will use his full 30 seconds. So we're now almost 31 minutes gone in the final term. And as Carlton came rattling home with the first 5 goals of the final term, a chance for the Suns to steady here and ensure they are still in the fight for the top 4. Jai Farah got his opportunity in this Gold Coast Suns side, just his 3rd game of the season. A chance to try and finish with a real flurry. Outside 50, sets flight. It's just everything out of bounds on the full. To the Bronx cheers, free kick going the way of the Blues up against the left behind post. The Suns by 20 points, crowd posted at 24,120 fans.
Side with the footy, hand passes it across to Cowan. He's just met and tackled to the turf. There's a little bit of pushing and shoving. It's Farah who did the tackling in the end, high on Cowan. Not letting him up too easily either as he gets the free kick. Takes it, and it's a high ball right into the centre of the stadium. Falls out the back of the pack. Motlop's there to collect. Hand passes it across to Wilson, who hand passes it in the centre of Docklands across to Lord. He puts it down into the pocket. It just goes across the fingertips of Durden. And in the end, it's rushed through for a minor score for the Blues. A late score for them. Margin back to 19 points. Nearly 32 minutes have been played in the final term.
As Noble looks to bring the Suns back into play. Into the back pocket where Noah Anderson takes the mark. So 32 minutes gone in this final term. As he goes short to Toot Miller, who played such a pivotal part in the first half in leading the Gold Coast Suns midfield. And they're in go slow mode now to try and soak the seconds off the clock. Miller long towards Ben King. It's out of bounds on the full. It bounces in front of the Gold Coast Suns bench, and Tom de Koning quickly tries to gather it. Veers out to the left, sends a high ball inside 50. Mac Andrew comes charging from behind, makes the spoil. Hollands one way, Witz the other, as the siren sounds. And despite the Blues' a late final quarter comeback, the Suns avoid the slip-up and prevail by 19 points to record their 14th win of the season.
We are the sons of the Gold Coast sky. We are one in the red, gold and blue. We are the mighty Gold Coast Suns. We play to win the flag for you. Fight, fight, fight till we hold on the crown. Run, run, run all the way. Hey! We are the sons of the Gold Coast sky. We're the team who never say die.
The Suns led by 15 points at quarter time, by 24 points at half time, by 45 at three-quarter time. They got out by 48 points in that third quarter. before the Blues kicked 5 goals to start the final term. They got back within 13 points before Ben King was able to show composure and to kick a stealing goal for the Suns. They lead by 19 points, and the way it sits at the moment, they're 5th on the ladder, but they're still in touch with the top 4. Suns winners by 19 points, needing 2 wins from their last 4 matches to ensure they would feature in September for the first time. There is a possibility they can feature in the top 4 as they continue their charge towards September. A 14th win, meaning they are just 1 win behind the sides wrestling for the top 4, Adelaide, Geelong, Collingwood and Brisbane with their loss tonight. And the Suns are very much in the fight. Of course, they play those 2 matches in round 24, Port Adelaide and the Bombers. For the winners, 6 goals to Ben King, an equal career high for him. 3 goals to Ben Long, individuals to Fiorini, Ainsworth and Witts for the Suns. While for the Blues, 3 goals to Harry Mackay, only shadowed by the efforts of Francis Evans, who booted 4. He had a breakout night for him. It equals his career best. He kicked 4 as a Port Adelaide player against the Crows back in 2023. So just what he can do in just his 42nd game of footy. 3 goals, as I said, to Harry Mackay. Individuals to Motlop, Fogarty, O'Keefe and Moyer. The Suns prevail by 19 points in front of 24,120 fans. Mick Malthouse and Brent Harvey, we got a bit of a cheap thrill there in the final term as the Blues tried to come rattling home, but in the end, the Suns found a way to get the win they desperately needed, maybe not by the margin we thought they might have got.
No, well, we did get that cheap thrill because Carlton came to play in the last quarter. Why? Because they were 45 points down at 3-quarter time. They come out, they throw caution to the wind. I've mentioned this a few times about Carlton and the analogy around the boxer. You're going to sit in the ring and you're going to wait to see who hits anyone first. You're probably going to get knocked out. Go and throw the first punch early. Not literally. Go and throw the first punch early. Get in there. Play the brand of football you can. And then hopefully you're up by 45 points at 3-quarter time and you can be the team that's holding on, Mick. But they just leave it too late. I've seen some fantastic football. They started doing what the Gold Coast Suns did in the first 3 quarters. Get the ball forward, surge, knock it on, kick it on, see a forward handball, give it, kick the ball inside 50, lower your eyes. They started doing that in the last quarter, but it was too little too late.
Yeah, they are a very slow-moving side, and whether they can sustain it all for 4 quarters, but as you say, shop early. Yep. Get the score on the board. Start, and I know Matthew, you've said before that they are a starting side that when you look at the games this year, I think there's 13 of they've been in front, but it's early in the quarters, early in the game, setting up the way you want to play and staying true to that, and it'll net them more wins than losses. There's no question about that. But on the other side of the coin, I was very impressed in Gold Coast for most of the night. Yeah,
they had a disappointing last quarter, 5 goals to 1 Carlton's way, and they're hanging on. Where
did they play last? I know they're a travelling side. I know Damien's been at them for a couple of years saying, you've got to grow up when you travel. You've just got to make sure you win games of football. Well, they've been doing that. They've won the 14 games. They haven't been playing they're not all at home. I know they play a few up in Darwin, which I don't think they've ever been beaten up there. But tonight, they, potentially on the scoreline at the moment with Port Adelaide, they go in front of Port. They could go in front of... They go back in front of Hawthorn tonight.
I'll just interrupt you for a second, Mick, because Jared Witts is being chaired off, and Sam Collins and Bodie Yulin had the task of trying to lob a 200-centimetre on their shoulder, and all the Suns players around were enjoying the moment because I think Jared Witts was a bit awkward being on someone else's shoulders for a change, given he is the big man of the Suns team. So rightfully recognised in his 200th game. Of course, the 50th game for Bodie Yulin as well. And Damien Hardwick also reached the milestone of 300 AFL games coached. And victory under the roof of Docklands for his Suns, a place he didn't really enjoy coming as a Tigers coach, but victory tonight by 19 points. Sorry, Mick, to interrupt you.
No,
a nice moment for the Suns as we try and work
Fantastic.
out where they sit this season. They are on the climb for the moment as the Suns make their way from Docklands and into their change rooms, and I'm sure they'll enjoy singing this, even though, in fact, in the final term, the Blues did give them a bit of a scare with 5 goals to 1 in that final term.
Clinchy, are they on, I haven't got my live ladder, I'm not sure it's updating. Are they on 52 points or 56 now?
No, they're 56.
56 now.
With another win, another game up their sleeve.
That's the big thing.
Down the legs.
Let's listen to the song, guys.
Mighty Go-Go Suns, we fight to win the fight for you. Fight to your Africa. Run all the way. Hey! We are the Sons of the Go-Go Squad with the team that makes it up.
The Gold Coast Suns winners by 19 points, 13-15-93 to the Blues 11-8-74. So we're all trying to work out the context of this season. Now the Magpies sit on, they were on top with 15 wins. All of a sudden they've given up their
12
spot.
points on top, and
They
now
were
they've
at one
gone down to
stage.
third.
They held top spot since round 11 and then gave that up last week. So Adelaide on top, they still have to play this weekend, so they could move a game clear on top. Geelong are also equal with them at the moment on 15 wins at the moment. Collingwood equal in third position. Brisbane Lions are 2 points behind. Of course, that loss this weekend, they could have moved on top of the ladder, but they went down to the Sydney Swans earlier today. And then the Suns are up to fifth spot at the moment. But as opposed to the other sides who just have the 2 games to play after this weekend, the Suns still have 3. So they are very much still a possibility of featuring in the top 4, as are the Fremantle Dockers, who have just a little bit of work to do in the final term, chasing Port Adelaide. So the Power giving everything they've got at the Adelaide Oval, 11-8-74 to the Dockers 9-12-66. After Port Adelaide were goalless in the opening quarter, they roared back to life with 8 goals in the second quarter. And Fremantle, well, their possibilities of fighting for the top 4 or hoping to avoid that battle with the Western Bulldogs in round 24 to decide their fate still to come. But Ben King with 7 marks and 6 goals tonight. He was able to play a headline act in the Gold Coast Suns win.
He's kicked 57 goals, that's a really good season. Really good season.
Booted 55 last year in 2024 from 22 games, so has succeeded that with 3 games still to come. So it's been a breakout season for the 25-year-old who would have had the temptations to come back to Victoria and join his brother Max, who unfortunately hasn't been out on the field that much for the Saints this season, but has been a believer in what they're building at the Gold Coast Suns, and they are on a bit of a run now. That's 6 of their last 7 they have been able to win for the Gold Coast Suns. And well, that question is going to be repetitively asked, Mick and Boomer, as to how much are they a premiership contender. For the moment, they're building nicely.
Yeah, well, I know I'm harping on these goals. I'm just looking at the game over in South Australia. I think Georgiades has kicked 2. So you've got players like, it's almost like you do need a key forward of note to be able to know that you're going to a final series. It's, even if he doesn't kick a lot of goals, takes the heat off you.
Yep.
You've got Cameron, and we know that he's very, very important, but he does take players away from other players. You've got Georgiades, well, they're not going to make the finals. Ben King, he's got some troops around him that are helping him out, which is so vital. I think there are odds on there to make the 8. Norton, we know, well, they're sitting there. Gunston, how about Gunston? How's he jumped? He kicked 2 or 3, I think he kicked 3, so he's in the 50s. Thorpe and Jamie Elliott. So, they've all got goal kickers. You need them.
They certainly do. Hold fire, Mick. Let's head down to the Suns' rooms. Winners by 19 points.
Thanks, guys. I'm with Took Miller. Took, before we unpack the game, you guys got to cheer off Jared Witts in his 200th game. It was a bit awkward when he came in. Can you talk to how much he means to this club and just the character that he is?
Yeah, definitely. Well, for one, 208 centimetre bloke's pretty hard to carry off the deck, so I wasn't putting my hand up for that one. But yeah, look, I think we talked about it during the week for him. He epitomises a Suns man. He's been at this club obviously through some pretty tough times, and he's been a leader of our club for quite some time. So I think we definitely owed it to him to make sure we got the job done. I know it got a little bit scrappy towards the end there, but I think those are the types of wins that you relish in the most, and I'm glad that we got to do it for a great man in Jared Witts.
You move into 5th on the ladder with a pretty healthy percentage, but as you said, it got scrappy towards the end there. What were the runners saying to you guys towards the end? I think they kicked 4 or 5 on the trot. Were you panicking at all?
No, I mean, you look, those games are going to happen. You always look to what you can improve, and you'd rather win and then go through a review and what can you learn from that. Look, we knew that they were going to come eventually. I think the runner was more just like, how can we become composed? CBs weren't really going our way. They're a really good contested ball team and stoppage team, and they got on top of us at the start of that last quarter. I think that was the difference. And then we started to, kind of claw it back, and I feel like that's what helped us get back on top, kind of chew the clock up a little bit. Look, it was a pretty loose game towards the end there, but I'm glad we won.
The ladder's so hard to keep on top of, to know where it's going to go. Do you guys talk about that? I know it's a cliche to say we actually just focus week to week, but do you talk about it at this point in the season?
No, we actually don't. I mean, what we do talk about is that we want to play finals, so I think that's the main thing. The funny thing about the ladder for us is, we've got a game that's extra, so every time you do look at it, it's like not a full reflection of where we are. But I think for us, you said it is cliche, it's week to week, but it really is, because the way the ladder looks at the moment, if you lose a game, you can go from 3rd to 7th or 8th. So look, it's just week for week for us. We've got a big game next week against GWS, so looking forward to that.
Before the ABC experts, having that game in hand, is it hard to keep mentally on track with having that game in hand? Is that weird?
No, not really. I mean, probably ask me when, after we play Port Adelaide and everyone's finished and we go into that next game. But look, it's just another game of football. I guess we got the benefit of, another week up our sleeve earlier in the year. Maybe that's helping us in the back end. Who knows? So, it is what it is. Another week. Hopefully, we're in a good position to, make that game really count for us.
Brent Harvey and Mick Malthouse, Took Miller is all yours.
Took Boomer here, mate. Congratulations individually and collectively on a fantastic night tonight. Just take the listeners into the last quarter where Carlton kicked 5 goals straight, and 4 of them came in the first 12 minutes. Do you guys have a set play if a team kicks 3 goals or 4 goals or get on a run? Is there a play that you guys go to where you can take some time off the clock? Do you try to kick the next goal? Do you stop them from scoring? Take the listeners into how you guys handle that situation.
Yeah, we do. We do have a bit of a mode that we go into, like a lot of teams do. We get one behind the ball. We didn't go to that exactly. We've probably got a mid mode, so it's all about winning the ball in the contest, release it on your own terms. I think that's the main thing. So when you get in scenarios like that where they do get a run on, a lot of the time it looks like the ball spills, normally goes to them. We've got poor balance, or we've coughed it up on the wrong time. So I think it's important for us that we make sure that we focus on winning the contest, holding the ball in, getting it out on our terms.
And what about your role tonight? I noticed you started at half forward for most of the first quarter. Then have you got that licence where you can come up to the ball and play like a fifth on baller and use you've got elite endurance clearly to get your opponent up the ground, try to beat him back? Is that a bit of a role that you're going to play come finals time? Because we see you in a lot of centre bounces as well. Which one do you prefer?
No, I like the mix. I like being able to go on a centre bounce and then being able to use my weapons, getting forward of the ball with my leg speed and making sure I can get up and down the ground. So I think I've got a bit of a licence to do both, and I've got some players around me that really support me in that. So, I definitely enjoy that.
I think we're about to lose you two for a team meeting.
Sorry, guys.
Just tell me as you go, is Ben King Mark of the Year?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think he's got 2 of them. I forgot the one on the first game against West Coast.
Good on you, Toot. Enjoy the win.
Thank you.
Toot Miller after the Suns win by 19 points, dragged into a team meeting. And Mick, you would know what that environment is like as Damien Hardwick tries to keep their feet firmly on the ground with so much still to play for.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it's a real balancing act because you want to enjoy each win. There's no question about that. And I was always encouraging people to let the club enjoy the win as long as you know that there's another week. And within moderation, of course. And, you've just got to make sure that the alcohol and that sort of stuff. But straight after a match, it's so important to acknowledge the fact that you've won the game of football. Some are going to be better wins than others, and you're all human. You're not robotic, and there's going to be some like the win against Brisbane would have been massive. The win tonight is expected, probably less intense. In reality, most players would have gone to bed last night thinking, well, we know we can win this game, and it's just a matter by how much. Sometimes you forget how to play your game. You're starting to think about the result more so than the method. But I thought, by and large, they stuck to their method. Their biggest test will be Damien Hardwick knows how to win finals. It's taking him into a final series. And I'm not sure that Wednesday, that last one is really... it's just a dog's breakfast, the AFL. We're still got to play out round 0. I mean, that shows how ridiculous it is, particularly against an Essendon who are probably thinking we just want to get away from here and get our players right for next year.
Yep.
So they'll win it. They've got to be... They can't cruise. They can't get into a bad habit. They also know... And let me just say, if I can go back through a little bit of history, and this is going back a long, long time, we at Richmond hadn't been in the finals for a few years, a couple of years. And we played the last game against South Melbourne. We were on top of the ladder. All we were thinking about was the finals and self-preservation. We got beaten by 10 goals by one of the bottom sides, dropped from first to fourth or thereabouts, and then we won the premierships. But it shows you what the mind is capable of and also not capable of. It can't think of two things at once, and it can't also... The self-preservation thing, and I know, Boomer, you've played a lot of finals, it's getting ready for the finals and knowing how you got in the finals without trying to think of the result of the finals. And that's difficult because they've got the 2 more games. And as he said, the ladder doesn't reflect it. What he's virtually saying was, we know we can get 4 points off Essendon, no disrespect for Essendon. So the ladder really doesn't say that we're 56. It actually should say we're 60. But we're still going to go through the methods of playing 3 games. And that means it's more pressure on the body. He's one that will be a bit worried because, I mean, he's had a few soft tissue injuries. So Damien Hardwick is going to have a real balancing act between now and the end of the year.
It's a great point, isn't it? Because you talk about managing players, but like you mentioned, that Essendon, it can always be a danger game that we're all very happy here, trigger happy to say, give them the 4 points. But it's not necessarily
It won't happen.
given.
Yeah. You run down the race, and you probably will get the 4 points because Essendon don't want to be there thinking of their Mad Monday or certainly the next year. Well, they're thinking, well, what are we doing here? Like everyone else is finished except for the finals clubs. But Damien Hardwick would be worried in this sense. Yep, you run the risk of soft tissue, but what about a concussion?
Yeah.
You're going to lose that player for the first final, whereas other clubs have already they'll have the bye. If it's just a standard concussion, you get over it. You play. You don't basically miss a week. I just think this has been a really badly organised. I know we've known for a long time, and we've also known that a few weeks, or let's say 15, 16 weeks ago, we're going, well, both sides are probably going to be fighting for a spot in the 8. Well, we know now that Essendon aren't, but nonetheless, it's going to be
I think it comes to the individual when you're talking about that game as well. I remember one game out here a long time ago, and I think they might have changed the rule where they have the bye the week before the finals. Yes. I think we played, I don't know, maybe it was Fremantle.
Yeah, it was Ross Lyon.
Yeah, and Brad Scott rested so many players, and I was one to put my hand up and said, no, Brad, my go is continuity.
You want to play.
Yeah.
When they did training loads at training, they knew not even come next to me and say, oh, you've had a big fortnight. Yeah, I know I've had a big fortnight, and I like that big fortnight. So I'm training. They didn't pull me out on Thursday. I'm not doing 50% of training. I was about continuity. So that game, I put my hand up and said, no, I have to play. Yeah. For me to be better the following week, I need to play. And it'll be interesting to see, and you spoke about Took Miller being some hammies and a few soft issues. Does he want to play? Does Ben King want to play? And you shouldn't flirt with that sort of stuff, but there'll be certain players. I look at Matt Rao, and I just think he's an animal. He'll want to play. Yeah. He's not one.
There will be a couple of blokes that might say, look, you know what, I'm a little bit tight and sore.
Absolutely, and that's okay. Noah Anderson, you're a bit tired. Let's rest you for this week because the whole competition's getting a rest, except for us pretty much. So,
well, that's it. That is.
So, it comes down to individual performances and knowing your own body, knowing your own mindset to be ready for the next game, which is the final.
The Suns winners by 19 points. Some of the fans are getting a chance to have a kick under the roof of Docklands here, but they've just been told time is up. Speaking of Matt Rao, he spoke with the commentary team on Fox Footy about the intensity of that final quarter.
Yeah, they're a quality side. We knew they were going to come at some point. We'll take a bit of learnings from that last quarter, but really proud of the group to stick at it and get the 4 points.
Pretty even midfield battle, which you can expect. They're a strong, contested and clearance side. How did it feel in there?
tough battle all day. We knew their contested ball stuff is really good in their clearance, so we think that's a strength of ours as well. So we knew we had to go head-to-head with them, and it was a good contest all day.
At the start of the day, when you see Noah Anderson getting a bit of extra attention, trying to work through that tag, for you, do you go, all right, I've got the green light, I get to go to work here? Because that's what it looks like.
Yeah, well, Noz does a great job if he gets tagged to manipulate the stoppage, and I can get free at times, and he's really good at working through that. We just keep working through it.
Now, we were just talking to Ben about, we think it's Mark of the Year. Did you have a good view of the hanger he took?
Yeah, I was getting front and centre, so I had a good view of it. He sat up there for a long time, so it was a nice mark.
Matt Rao joining the Fox Footy team post-game. So it was 11-8. The clearances in the final term the way of the Blues. And just to tidy up a few of the last thoughts on the Gold Coast Suns. So obviously in that territory where they've never been in finals before. So we've heard a lot of the clubs. I mean, Adelaide, they're repetitively sort of reminding themselves that they've achieved nothing yet. They haven't got to finals yet. All they're doing is setting themselves up for the postseason and what's to come in September. So for the Suns, I guess all you've got to do is win, and they were able to do so tonight.
Who they got? Who did you say they've got next week?
They got the Giants next week.
Tough game.
On the Gold Coast.
And then
Port Adelaide and then Essendon. So they have 3 to go.
And Port Adelaide at home?
Port Adelaide at the Adelaide
Oval. Yeah, okay. Well, they don't look like they're going to be they're winning. They're beating Fremantle by a point right now. So they do. They just got to keep winning, and they have got the game up their sleeve, which is a bit of a bonus because you can pencil that one in. But Mick, you asked me before, I think it was at half-time, are they a chance? Are they a chance they could win the flag? And I don't think it's this year, but if they sneak in and get a top 4 spot and they have to get a home final.
I think, Boomer, when people say, you've got to lose one to win one. Well, Richmond went all those years, made the final under Damien Hardwick.
Yep.
They won the premiership.
Yep.
So it's not necessarily right. It's the mental toughness of the players, and it's a bit of luck. And some of that luck is basically injury free.
I think luck plays a part in every team. Even if you're the best team, you've got to have the right cattle on the park. You've got to be very healthy. Things have got to go right. You've got to start well. There's so many things that come into winning a premiership. I think we all know that.
Yep.
Can Gold Coast win the premiership at the MCG in 2025? Wow, to think of it. Think of that in such a short period of time for Damien Hardwick would be pretty special, wouldn't it?
Well, I reckon if they make the top 4,
they're a chance.
Well, you've got a double chance.
Yep.
It's a sudden death from 5th to 8th. I mean, you wouldn't want to be playing. You wouldn't want to be playing Hawthorn or. I'm just watching Fremantle now. I don't know whether Fremantle they're probably the weaker of the groups, but Hawthorn, their form, and the Dogs, you wouldn't want to be running into them on your second week.
No, I agree. I think
and the worst thing would be for the AFL if they play each other, because one of them will go, and there goes one of the premiership hopefuls. I just reckon they're playing as good a football as anyone. Both sides. So
Port Adelaide leading by a point in that game at the Adelaide Oval. 12-8-80 to the Dockers, 11-13-79. So we might take you there in a few moments' time. So we'll tidy up a few of the loose ends here. Ben King is at Mark of the Year. We've seen Cal Shadir in recent weeks. Liam Ryan has had a crack.
It was a good grab. It was a very good grab. He seemed to hang there. I thought he was going to go way underneath the ball watching it live. And he just hung there. And we all know how tall he is and how long his arms are. And he just sort of stuck. And it was a mark because he held it all the way to the ground. Was it Mark of the Year? I can't remember all the other marks. So I can't say yes.
This year.
It is a bit of a shallow pool compared to previous years. But it was a bloody good mark. That's what I know it was. Yeah. It was a good mark. And gee, you already mentioned, but gee, he kicks the ball well, doesn't he?
Well, he's a beautiful
follow
kick.
Through.
Yeah, everything about it. Like he's so straight. And he drops the ball so close to the boot.
Yeah. For a big guy.
Yeah, when you look at some of the greats, I'm talking about Lockett and Dunstall, McKenna, Ablett. Where the ball drops to their boot, there's no error.
Yep.
You're a little...
Yeah, I don't count.
You're a little rover, it doesn't really count.
170 centimetres doesn't count. I was going to be a small ball drop anyway, wasn't it? Regardless.
I just watched one of the ruckmen for the Port have a shot, and he was only, 25 metres out, and I'm thinking, where's he dropped this from? Well, he dropped it from, I reckon, 3 kilometres outside of the moon. And guess where it went? Out in the floor.
Yeah. Fremantle with a goal through Patrick Voss, his third for the game, so they lead by 5 points at the Adelaide Oval. Matt Clinch, Lauren Borden, Mick Moldhouse and Brent Harvey with you. The Gold Coast Suns prevailing by 19 points. So as Carlton fans leave Docklands tonight, Mick and Boomer, what should they feel, given they managed 6 goals to three-quarter time and then came to life with 5 goals, 4 of which in the first 12 minutes, 5 goals in the final term. So 5 goals to 1, and yet they fall 19 points short, and their fans wonder, well, why can't we play more like that?
Well, I've said it all along, and I'm going to continue to say it because I would be disappointed. You know what? You look at the end result, and you think, oh, that's okay. If we come here tonight and we lost by that. But the way they played in the last quarter, I see this all the time. I see glimpses, and I see some good football. Now, I look at their team. They haven't got a huge amount of talent on the park right now. They've got some players out. That's obviously Curno's probably if not their best player, the most important player. Walsh is out. Just off the top of my head, who else is? Newman.
Silvani.
Silvani. So they haven't got their most talented list on the ground. But then you see them play like that and just take yardage, tap the ball on, get the ball going, playing surge football, playing fast football, give the forwards a chance, which I asked for in the first half, that they weren't given much of. And they just look like a completely different team.
Yeah.
I would love to see them come out and do that and be in a position to win the game at three-quarter time. But you look, they were 45 points down. As good as they were in the last, and Fogarty missed that goal, Motlop missed that goal, they're probably never going to win the game. I just would have loved them to be in a position where they can hold on for once because they play some exciting football when they get the opportunity.
Yeah, the only thing is, Boomer, as you know, like, there's the queue put in the rack at three-quarter time
for Gold Coast?
Yeah.
Potentially, yes.
They seem to go to sleep.
But I'll tell you when it didn't, Mick, at the 12-minute mark when they kicked the first 4 goals, Gold Coast would have got the message, let's kick in the next year.
Then when you've lost momentum, it's hard to regain momentum. Yep. And more so that the opposition have got the tail up. They can sniff what they can perceive as maybe a magnificent victory. It was only a matter of, in my mind, halting, stopping, get a goal, break the spirit, and it's all over. And it's just come a bit later than what was expected. But I wouldn't be getting too caught up in that last quarter by either side by saying, well, Gold Coast are vulnerable and Carlton are a fantastic side. We unfortunately have seen Essendon, Carlton, probably those two. We won't talk about West Coast at this stage. Been absolutely cruel before the season started. Their pre-season, they had players down. Curnow, I think, come off some sort of operation pre-season, so he could never get himself fit. Mackay was the same. They've lost one of their better players pre-season with an ACL. Essendon lost, 4 or 5 players with ACLs. You don't see a real reflection. It's unfortunate in today's football, what we're seeing is that the gap between the top and the bottom, outside of the fact that they're drafting and they've got free agents and so forth, there just seems to be a lack of luck or methodology. Essendon have been now quilled 2 years in a row through injuries. Now, is that reflective of the way they go about it? Is it reflective of their fitness advisors? Is it reflective of just young players trying to come through a limited pre-season? The AFL have shortened the pre-season but lengthened the season. You expose players. I remember talking to Penalty just not long ago, and he said to me, because of all those pre-season I've done, my body's ready for it. Whereas young players, fatigue sets in, and that's when you're most vulnerable. And Essendon paid a big penalty, and as of some of Carlton.
Yep. Speaking of the Blues, Lex Pesce has made her way to their rooms. Let's find out what the atmosphere is like down there.
Hello, guys. I have indeed. It's actually better than I thought it would be. I suppose when we see moments like all that last quarter where the Blues really showed what they can do, it does lift the spirits of the supporters and also the team. They've gone into a meeting now, and you can imagine Michael Voss is obviously unfolding and unpacking what the game was. There is a sense, I suppose, of stability now that the club has backed in Voss to coach for 2026. And you mentioned the players that were out this year, but I can only assume that they'll be looking at players like Francis Evans and even Ollie Hollands, who's been able to lift this year and be a real key player for the Blues. Another thing that I've noticed down here in the rooms is Toby Nankervis, the Richmond captain is actually here. There'll be no rumours about what he'll be doing next year in terms of a trade. He's good friends with George Hewitt, who plays his 200th game tonight. So interesting to see a familiar face in the wrong rooms, but it's quite nice to see players supporting their mates from other teams.
Thank you very much, Lex. The Blues going down by 19 points tonight. So, unfortunately, they're on the other side of it, having lost now 7 of their last 8. Suns winners by 19 points here. Still to come, the votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year. But we might just pause for the moment at Docklands and whip you across to the Adelaide Oval, given there's under 5 minutes to go. The Dockers leading by 5 points. To our commentary team, Aaron Bryans and Tom Wilson, Scott Thompson and Dean Brogan, as we're in the final quarter stages.
Fremantle have the numbers. He spots Erasmus.
They're out on their feet, Paul.
And 50. Boat came late. It was too close to him.
That hurts. Poor old Whitlock looks like he's running in the mud at the moment.
He's in cement boots, isn't he? The young fella.
Erasmus plays on. O'Driscoll's all alone at right half forward. Port have switched off. Freo by 5. Great to have you with us here at the Adelaide Oval. Fremantle's about to head inside 50. They lead by 5. O'Driscoll looking for Tracy, knocked away. Mead now the clearing kick for Port. Sitting underneath it is Brayshaw, knocked away. Pearce hands it across. Chapman, 45 out. Switkowski trying to barge through Butters, can't break free. Pearce now set upon. Ball up to come, 40 from home. Freo playing for a top 4 spot. If they lose, they'll likely be 8th. With the Lions and the Dogs to come. They were up 25 at quarter time. Port goalless at that point, and they've been hot ever since. The momentum of the home side has Fremantle's legs wobbling. Out of the stoppage, Sin hands it off to Butters. Fumbled, Switkowski in. Dove on top of by Sin rather. Moraes tries to extract it. Sin gets through. Hands it to Richards at left half back, but no one's ahead. And he jammed the kick forward, hitting in hope. Cox waited for the bounce. Had the numbers if he'd committed. And instead, Georgiades cuts across and knocks it over the boundary line. Aaron Bryans, Tom Wilson, All-Australian midfielder and 300-game Crow, Scott Thompson, and Premiership power ruckman Dean Brogan with you for the call.
Oh, we've got a big 3 minutes. 3 minutes to go. Port Adelaide, they look out on their feet, but have they got something?
They trail by 5 points from the boundary throw-in. Fife's been great as the sub. Underground handball to Brayshaw, who got it back to O'Driscoll and took on the tackle. You cannot get past Ollie White.
He's been spectacular. Great tackle.
So Port 12-8-80, Fremantle 12-13-85. 25 minutes gone in this final term. What do they have left of power? Wines tries to set this up towards Georgiades. He gave the shove in the back. Too strong on Brayshaw, says the umpire. He marks it left half forward. Mark paid. Handballs it off to Butters. Short kick in towards Boat. He marks just outside the 50. Goes the flat ball into the pocket to the skipper. Connor Rosie marks. He must be cramping. He's limping. 35 metres out. On the paint of the boundary line in the left forward pocket.
Sure, Boakey would want to watch his tape. Can he go take his retirement back? He's been unbelievable tonight, Boakey. What about that kick?
That's the flattest kick I've ever seen him kick.
Unbelievable.
So Connor Rosie's cramping, but this would be a captain's goal. 35 metres out, runs around, and the captain's kicked a captain's goal to put the power back in front in the dying minutes of this final term. Port Adelaide 13-8-86, Fremantle 12-13-85. 26 minutes gone here on ABC Sport.
That was a great build-up, and Ollie Wines, take a bow. Some of your efforts throughout this last quarter, as far as tackle pressure goes, has been unbelievably elite. Set the game up, but then the composure, once they got the ball, the composure and the nous to go forward the way they did, just pick off the short one that was there and just have a nice calmness, composed build-up that allowed Rosie to have a shot on goal there. Was brilliant.
Braden Ingram downstairs.
Rosie had taken himself to full forward, given the cramp he was experiencing. He's managed to kick the goal. He's had some pickle juice from the trainers, and now he's back in here for this centre bounce.
Jack Lukosius out with a calf injury. Nat Fyfe activated with Isaiah Dudley, the tactical sub. It's Port by 1 point. We've had 5 lead changes tonight. The Dockers led early. Port struck back in the second and held it all the way until the 16-minute mark of this final term. And now they're back on top, playing for pride. But gee, it's a sliding doors moment for Fremantle. This could cost them their September hopes. Darcy wins it down to Sarong. Blazes out of the middle. Kick towards Tracy. Off hands, 20 out. Alia's tracking. Bolton's breathing down his neck. The power defender rushes it through.
Centre bounce.
Scores are level. 2 minutes to go at the Adelaide Oval on ABC Sport.
It's just been the story of the night. When team just looks like they just can't hold a centre bounce. Both teams. When you need to lock it down in the centre bounce, Fremantle just will stroll out and get it inside 50.
So Farrell plays on from the kick-in, up towards Wines. He flies against Sarong, who got the first bite of the cherry.
Oh, wow.
The umpire says Sarong.
He's paid it.
Well, they didn't pay one to Patrick Voss earlier. They've paid it this time. Sarong, 80 metres from goal. Plays on. Kicks to the dangerous spot. He's going to have flyers at this one from the side. What a grab from Pearce. He's floated forward, the skipper. Wow. What a remarkable effort. Flying across the pack. The reverse Leo Barry.
That is a great
outstanding grab. I would love to see that Sarong mark that was paid just prior.
Would be the big...
Wines had a good chunk of that.
It did, and he was in front. Wines. Pearce from 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Any score will do, but that's the maximum. Pearce has pumped it through for a goal, and Fremantle are up by 6 with 45 seconds left on the clock. A win will put them into the top 4, and it was the most unlikely player. Alex Pearce gets the goal to put them in front.
Well, how big is this centre bounce? We've seen teams kick a goal and then concede a centre bounce, goes the other end, either for a goal or for an inside 50. Can Port Adelaide get a clean break at this centre bounce? They've been fantastic in here all night, but you would think Freo, with everything on the line, they will lock this centre bounce down and play back shoulder and try and lock it in.
There's something about Fremantle and final quarter comebacks. 6 points their lead. A draw will get them into the top 4 as well at the moment, just 1% ahead of Brisbane. Here we go. The crowd's restless. The state of Western Australia is anxious. Bounce in the middle. Sweet goes down. Caught one high. Free kick. Port Adelaide. Sean Darcy with a straight arm. Jordan Sweet bangs it into the 50.
Rosie.
On the marches, Connor Rosie put it down in front position. Front and square. Unable to take it cleanly as Liddy.
He had it.
Fremantle swarm and we get a ball up 40 from home.
He had it.
Dockers by 6. Port's 50. This came from Darcy. Sarong couldn't take it. Darcy didn't know what to do. Tried the handball, threw it on the boot, straight to Liddy. Quick chip kick. Darcy backtracks, and it's paid 15.
5 metres.
Sean Darcy gets the mark in defensive 50. Sweet relief for Fremantle.
That's the game.
Darcy will launch it to the eastern side, just looking for territory. They lost it on the drop. Boak hands it to Liddy. One last roll of the dice. Liddy inside 50 and the siren beats them. A season-defining heist for Fremantle. They snatch victory from the jaws of defeat and move into the top 4 for the first time this season. Freo by 6.
With that commentary team there at the Adelaide Oval, how about the efforts of Alex Pearce, the captain, going forward and taking a big mark to keep the goal for the Fremantle Dockers. So as those margins were swinging from one way to the other, the Dockers would go from 7th if they lost to 4th if they win. So they get the win by 6 points and they're still in that conversation.
Did you hear, Matt, did you hear that over in the west? And I'm not talking in West Australia, I'm talking about the west of Melbourne. Did you not hear that sigh? That disappointment?
Yeah, the Doggies fans are right in that. Of course, that might come down to that round 24 game, but with that Fremantle victory and, of course, the win over the Magpies, Freo are sort of drifting themselves out of that conversation. So a big win there at the Adelaide Oval. Here at Docklands, it was the Suns by 19 points, 13-15-93 to the Blues, 11-8-74. 24,120 fans. So Carlton's lowest attended match of the season for the Blues as a home game. The votes for the ABC Football of the Year. Brent Harvey, you did the job as Ben King booted 6 goals and Ben Long booted 3. And the Blues booted 5 of the last 6 goals of the match, but fell short with Francis Evans booting 4 and Harry Mackay 3.
So straight to the votes?
Straight to the votes.
All right, let's go with one. Evans, who you just mentioned, I thought he was fantastic and kept the Blues in the game in some way, shape or form. He finished with 4 goals, 16 disposals, but there was a couple other little things that bullet Mick right in front of us into the forward 50. He done some real special things tonight. I thought he was Carlton's best player by an absolute mile. So we gave him 1 vote. 2 votes goes to Rao. He had 30 disposals, 13 scoring involvements, I should say. 7 tackles and 8 inside 50s.
10 clearances, I think, too.
Yeah, he had a lot. He was their best ball winner.
Yeah.
By far. Anderson was held pretty quietly today with, I think he only ended up with 17 or 19 or something like that. And the best man on the ground is hard to go past a big fella when he kicks 6 goals. And 6 straight, Mick, which I know he did miss one. He didn't make the distance in one. It was rushed, but he still keeps his record of 6 goals straight. He was sensational. Could have been Mark of the Year as well. And they set the game up well for him. They set the game up well for him. They leave that big hole in front, and he just goes there and with his big long arms connects with the mid. So I thought King was the best player on the ground.
Yeah, especially with the company he had, like Wiedering early.
Yeah, Wiedering, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So I thought, 3 to King, 2 to Rowell, and 1 to Evans.
Brent Harvey with his votes in the ABC Football of the Year. The Suns 13-15-93 to the Blues 11-8-74. So the Suns still in that conversation around the top 4. They're in 5th position with the Dockers jumping up to 4th at the moment. So what a thrilling last 2 rounds of the home and away season we will have. And of course it all continues tomorrow. We kick off with AFL Sunday from midday. We'll be at Docklands for the Demons taking on the Western Bulldogs. Of course, the Demons. You spoke with Troy Chaplin earlier today, Mick, on AFL Saturday on ABC Sport. Said he doesn't want to put his hand up for the Melbourne coaching gig, but one day would like to be a senior coach. So what sort of responses to get from Melbourne tomorrow?
Well, Matt, you've been in football for a long time, and Burma, you have. When there's a change of coach, the Dogs will be very nervous because for no apparent reason, we cannot work out why the reason is, the players just go out there and go, we're going to have a game, and they win more times than they lose. So it's...
And we've seen the Bulldogs drop games late in season before. This is one that is just a non-negotiable.
It'll finish the season.
It does. It's exactly what it does, Mick. Especially tonight. Now they would have been barracking for Port Adelaide as hard as they possibly could. That didn't happen for them, but their destiny's in their own hands. They have to keep winning now.
Yeah. Isn't that fantastic? Just what's happening up here at the moment for those that aren't. It's
so
five.
Travis Boak and Nat Fyfe exchanging jumpers. Travis Boak has announced he will retire at season's end, and I wonder if that's an indication that Nat Fyfe is counting down to the end of his career as well. Surely he's not going to put the jumper on Nat, is he? It would look interesting
he looked like he was.
Port Adelaide fans, just walk around with his shirt off. He's more than comfortable than some others.
He's got a good rig.
Well, looking at the stats today, late, Fyfe only had 2 or 3 possessions. Now, I don't know whether he was the sub or... He was the sub, was he? Yeah. I just don't know the value of him anymore, but anyway, that's for Fremantle to work out.
So the Demons and the Western Bulldogs tomorrow from Docklands. The Giants and the Kangaroos kick off the day, so a chance for Boomers Kangas to try and take down one of the scalps.
Huge chance. Can't lose.
Against?
Giants in
Giants,
Canberra, Monica.
Yeah, the Giants are so patchy, though. Patchy.
Yeah, they are a little bit.
So Toby Green is back. Tristan Sherry is back for the Kangaroos.
Yeah, he has a go.
Nick Larkey goes out, though, unfortunately.
Nick Larkey is out, unfortunately. And the West Coast Eagles and the Adelaide Crows close out the weekend's footy from the West. What's been the most compelling result so far of the weekend, Mick? Is it the Magpies and their loss to Hawthorn back on Thursday night? It sort of feels like, well, we've had some great results today. The Brisbane Lions going down to the Sydney Swans. Does that waver your enthusiasm about Brisbane?
Well, I haven't been on Brisbane's bandwagon at all this year. I think by losing Danaher, a few of their players have, they pick and choose. And I'm talking about types like Rayner and Hipwood and so forth. McInerney's not the player he was, and I think he suffers from that shoulder. Fort did a great job last year and still carrying the ruck, but no, I haven't jumped on their bandwagon. So don't forget they won it from 5th spot last year too, so we've got to remember that. The big one for me was Hawthorn, how comprehensive they were about beating Collingwood. I did pick Hawthorn. I just thought they had the manpower to beat Collingwood on its current form, but they did more than that. They either were outside better than what I'm thinking, or Collingwood were a lot worse than what I think they are. I still think Collingwood had a chance, but they exposed a lot of weaknesses today, or over the weekend rather.
Sydney would be kicking themselves to the poor start of the season, won't they? Because they'd come in good at the pointy end of the season, and they got some stars.
Well,
Heaney kicked 5 again today. He was unbelievable. But
interesting to see how they go next week. They play the Cats.
The Cats next week. Yeah, that will be a big game in Sydney. I
I
think it is. But they'll be kicking themselves because. Yeah, I think they've got a list that could play some finals football, deserve to play some finals football. They just had a really poor start to the season.
Just haven't got a good key forward anymore.
Yeah,
though.
they haven't, have they? That's probably their Achilles heel right now.
Because they've got to rely on Heaney kicking goals and then also kicking it to himself. He gets the ball out of the centre and kicks it to himself and kicks a goal, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, they need 2 of him, absolutely.
Yeah, they do.
So just repeating that ladder at the moment, Adelaide are on top of the ladder, still with a game to play tomorrow, 15 wins and 5 losses. The Cats in second position, Collingwood in third and the Dockers in fourth. They're all on 60 points. 2 points back is the Brisbane Lions in fifth. The Gold Coast Suns further back on 56 points, but they have those 2 games to play in round 24. Likewise for the Hawks, and then the Giants on 52 points. The Bulldogs a game further back on 48. So Brisbane all of a sudden have the Fremantle Dockers and the Hawks having lost to the Sydney Swans.
Can they fall out of the 8?
Don't think they can.
The draw, I think the draw has held him in.
That draw would help. So 14 wins, 6 losses and a draw. But yeah, it could be tight.
And what are the Dogs got then?
Well, the Dogs would have to win their next 3, which would get them to 15 wins.
Yeah.
But a couple of soft games in there.
Well, if they get to 15, and well, I don't think it'll happen, but let's say Brisbane don't win a game.
Melbourne, West Coast, the Bulldogs have got the next 2 games.
Yeah.
So they win
both of those.
And then they got the Fremantle game, which could come down to whoever wins.
Yeah, maybe. But Brisbane's safe. If they lose the games.
If they lose them all, they're not safe.
Well, they got Fremantle and Hawthorn.
Well, I tell you what, there's no guarantee.
And all of a sudden, that game between the Western Bulldogs and Freo could have some meaning.
And I'll tell you the other one that shapes the top 4 in particular is Collingwood, Adelaide.
Saturday night at the Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, it's a big game as well because if Collingwood lose that, they can get leapfrogged if everyone wins below them, and they could be as low as
Adelaide haven't got a great record against them, Boomer.
It keeps us alive in the run to September with 2 rounds to go. Thank you, Boomer. Thank you, Mick, for coming along tonight.
Great call, well done.
We could keep talking even though we're running out of time. Thanks to Lauren Borden and Lex Pesce down in the rooms, to Mitch Turner back at base and to Lee at the back of the box. The Gold Coast Suns saw off the scare from the Blues, prevailing by 19 points, and the Fremantle Dockers got over the line by 6 points over Port Adelaide. Thanks for your company tonight. We'll chat to you tomorrow from midday.
Family lunch, and a week later, 3 of Aaron Patterson's guests were dead.
That lunch has been under intense scrutiny.
The whole story of this deadly lunch. Hear the series now via Mushroom Case Daily on the ABC Listen app or wherever you get your podcasts.
ABC Sport Digital Radio, your home of cricket.
Ian Cowan, Ryan Hoffman, I'm Andrew Moore. Thursday Night Rugby League on ABC Sport. Dean Witters, I think in rugby league circles his name speaks for himself. He played 159 games for the Roosters, Parramatta predominantly, but also South Sydney. Finished his career with several years over in the